It's time to get up and get your day started. It's Sports 56 mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
It is Friday, the weekend just about here, and not your normal weekend when it comes to the world of sports, as this weekend the selections will be made. The selection show will announce all 68 teams in the NCAA tournament, but we also have the wrap-up of several big-time conference tournament championships, which will be coming up this weekend. And hopefully, for the sake of the Memphis Tigers, they will be in the American Championship come Sunday as they get set with their first game, a quarterfinal round game today in the American Conference Tournament. We welcome you in to Sports 56 Mornings on this Friday, March 14th, 2025. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Elijah Seegers with you. We're broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Their first ever preseason pool, spa, and patio event going on right now, with pools as low as $19.99, spas from $29.99, all types of great deals on patio furniture sets. And how about this? You can register to win either a free pool, spa, or patio set when you stop by Family Leisure. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. So right now, it's literally the calm before the storm. Cloudy sky, 63 degrees. But the weather is coming in tonight. In fact, they're talking about the possibility of some severe weather with damaging winds, large hail, powerful tornadoes, a possibility. So be prepared. Doesn't mean it's happening, but there is that possibility. The winds will be blowing today. They'll be increasing to about 20 to 30 sustained, with gusts occasionally over 40. And then tonight, windy with scattered thunderstorms. As I said, perhaps severe, with the damaging wind and all that good stuff. And then that will roll into the overnight hours and then into the morning hours of Saturday, with your high temperature for tomorrow at 69. And then on Sunday, looks to be mostly cloudy, mostly sunny, a little bit of clouds, but 60 degrees for your high. So that's a look at what's going on with the weather. As far as sports is concerned, it's all about college basketball and the NBA. The Grizzlies tonight will take on the big bad Cleveland Cavaliers, the best record in the NBA. They'll be here at the Forum. And then tomorrow night, the Miami Heat will be in town. But more importantly, Tony Allen will have his number 9 jersey retired. We had TA on the program yesterday. If you missed that interview, you can always check it out on our website under featured audio. TA was great. So back-to-back games for the Grizzlies before they hit the road. As I mentioned, the Tigers, they'll get going at noon today against Wichita State. We got all kinds of fun things going on in Nashville with the SEC tournament. More NFL free agency news that we'll get to on the program. John Varlas will join us. He's in Murfreesboro for the state basketball championships, the Division I public school championships. We'll talk to him about what's going on there. Matt Dillon will join us from Fort Worth at 8:25 for the Tiger Basketball Report. And then at 9:05, Brian Baroni, the head coach of Eli's alma mater, SIUE. They're headed to the NCAA tournament, and he will join us to talk about that as well. We'll take your calls and texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. Got some Grizzlies tickets to give away for the Tony Allen jersey retirement game tomorrow night. So that's coming up on the program. Plus 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. What a show we got planned for the folks here today, Eli.
Yes, indeed. And what a day yesterday was in Nashville with the SEC tournament. Holy Lord. What a – that was some fun stuff. We knew the SEC tournament was going to be – figured it would be good with the teams that you have there. But, I mean, they're just now getting to the quarterfinals, and what an unbelievable set of games they had yesterday.
Oh, it was off the hook, and then you had a lot of other – down-to-the-wire finishes across the nation. Elijah, I'm sure you were like a kid in a candy store, huh?
I really was. It was It was a great day from start to finish. 12 hours of just amazing basketball. Had some buzzer beaters. Couldn't ask for more, really.
I mean, there was the game where Louisville pulled it out against Stanford when Louisville missed the shot. The Stanford kid gets the rebound. With a second to go, he throws it right to the Louisville guy who hits the elbow jumper. I couldn't believe what I was saying, but I have to start with this. Look, I have had some bad beats. This is the worst bad beat I could possibly have. I am sick. I'm still sick this morning. Usually I get over it. You lose, all right, big deal. I'm not putting hundreds and hundreds or thousands of dollars on these bets. But I'm still sick to my stomach. I did a 16 parlay in college basketball. He always laughs at me, but I'm telling you, if it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. But it's not that I'm misguiding myself on these picks. I mean, I hit 5 of the 6. And then here's the 6th one. That's
the point.
Well, I know. The more you play, the more chances. I mean, as far as how many games you're putting into a bet, I get that. But I've also hit a bunch of them lately. And I think this is the good time right now in conference tournament action to make these plays. So I hit 5 of them. The 6th one was UTSA and East Carolina. Elijah, follow me on this one. I have UTSA plus 4.5. Okay? Back and forth game, pretty much. Comes down to the final seconds. East Carolina is up 3. I'm getting UTSA in 4.5. They're up 3. There's 6 seconds to go. They're coming out of a timeout. The announcers are talking about whether or not they should foul. The one guy says no, they should play it out because of their defense. I think the play-by-play guy was kind of leaning toward, no, you probably foul here. And they foul him. So UTSA goes to the free throw line. Again, they're down 3. Make one for me. Well, it's 1-1. And it's a horrible free throw shooter. So I know he's missing. Clank, he misses the free throw. 5 seconds. The ball gets tipped out from the scrum going for the rebound to the East Carolina guy just before half court. 4, 3. He breaks away. Instead of pulling up and doing the cordial thing, the sportsmanlike thing, which would happen in the NBA, this guy goes in there and tomahawks it down with a half second to go. 5-point win. I lose by a half point. I lose the 16 parlay, which I'd already won 5 of the legs. That is as bad a beat as you're going to get.
Can't make this stuff up.
No, you can't. I'm sitting there going, who is this guy? I hate this guy. He's my worst. He's my least favorite player now in the world. I couldn't even tell you who it was. I was startled. I couldn't sleep. I can't believe what just happened. And I stayed up, of course, that extra hour. I like to go to bed a little bit earlier with the early show. That was my night. So it ruined. That's the thing about gambling. Sometimes it can ruin your day. I had a good day watching ball. Those buzzer beaters that you talked about, Eli, the SEC tournament, everything's been great. And then maybe I shouldn't do that because it just put me in a foul mood, tough to fall asleep. And here I am this morning. I know, don't shake your head.
Betting parlays.
I know, but I bet a couple straight bets too, and they lost. But yeah, that one was hard to take. But anyway, the Memphis Tigers tonight, they begin their quest to follow up their regular season American Conference title with a conference championship. Now, they have won an American Conference tournament championship. They had never won an American Conference regular season title until this year. They will start today at noon against Wichita State, the 8 seed. Memphis, of course, the 1 seed. A team they split with this year. And a team that, ironically, 1 year to the day, knocked them out of the American tournament last year. Memphis is a 9.5-point favorite in this one. The 2 games they played, interesting games, especially the game in Wichita, where I thought the perimeter defense for Memphis was absolutely horrible. I thought Ballard had a huge game. They're big, and he was a difference maker. Whereas yesterday, in their 73-68 win over South Florida, he was not a factor at all. It was all about Cortez and Washington. Do you foresee a close game? Or is this Memphis now on a mission knowing that, hell, these guys already beat us once. They're the team that knocked us out last year. Let's go in and take care of business.
Well, I mean, who knows? Generally, you probably would expect a close game when it comes to the Tigers in conference play. But there certainly is revenge on the line with the regular season loss, with the fact that this is the team that ended your season last year. There's plenty of motivation there. But generally in conference tournament play, especially when you've got, for Wichita State, it's a long shot, but their only hope, obviously, to get to the NCAA tournament is to win this tournament. So they are a team in desperation mode. So generally, I usually expect close games in conference tournaments when you get one team that is in full desperation mode against a team that really isn't in desperation mode.
As I mentioned, Wichita State winning yesterday 73-68, eliminating South Florida. Elsewhere in the American yesterday, Florida Atlantic beat Charlotte 64-59 after Charlotte had won the day prior against Rice. Tulsa beat Temple. The other team to knock off Memphis gets knocked out by Tulsa. That was a surprise, 75-71.
Yeah, Temple obviously still playing without Mashburn, and it caught up with them there, and Tulsa's actually played a little bit better here late in the season. They're not very good, but again, when you're dealing with two teams that aren't very good, I'm not sure there's really anything that's a surprise.
And then there was the East Carolina win over UTSA, the killer for yours truly. So today, again, Memphis at 26-5, take on Wichita State at 19-13. You look at that record, that's not too shabby. But again, Memphis a 9.5-point favorite with a 147.5 total. They'll tip at 12 on ESPN2, also available on ESPN Plus from Dickies Arena. We'll get a lot more on this game when Matt Dillon joins us for the Tiger Basketball Report at 8:25. That'll be followed by Florida Atlantic and Tulane. So if Memphis wins, they'll play the winner of Florida Atlantic Tulane in the semifinals. And then in the evening, Tulsa and North Texas. North Texas is a 13.5-point favorite in that one. By the way, Florida Atlantic a 3.5-point favorite over Tulane. And then the nightcap, you have UAB and East Carolina. UAB a 4.5-point favorite. So if Memphis, Tulane, North Texas, and UAB all win, then it goes chalk with the 1 through 4 seeds playing in the semis.
That line on North Texas is a little too large, in my opinion. And then what will be a low-scoring game? I don't like to give a team or be giving up a bunch of points with a team that I know doesn't plan on scoring a whole lot.
Right. No, I can understand that. So that's what's going on in the American. In the SEC tournament, which again, you knew it was going to be bonkers. The last week of the regular season was absolutely bonkers. And so yesterday, you had, first of all, Ole Miss knocking out Arkansas 83-80 on a Sean Padula 3 with 1.3 seconds left, and then the desperation shot, I think it was Richmond, that was pretty close to try to tie the game and go force overtime, did not come through. And that game ended 83-80, and Ole Miss advances. Arkansas winning that first game narrowly over South Carolina, holding them off. But I still think either way, what they did the last 3 weeks of the season, maybe last month of the season, gets them in as an at-large.
Yeah, I would think, judging by what the bracketologists have out there, I think most people believe that Arkansas will be in. Now, could end up in Dayton possibly, but they got a lot of other help yesterday because many of those bubble teams that were playing yesterday lost in their matchup. So I think Arkansas probably does get in. That was a kind of I think every Arkansas game is weird. Like there's always weird runs in their games. It looked like for a while there, Ole Miss would blow them out, and then Arkansas came back. That looked like Arkansas is going to win, and then Ole Miss comes back, and it just but huge shot by Padula there at the end. Really, quite frankly, terrible defense by Arkansas just to let him dribble up and take a three. And Padula did not have a great game by any means yesterday. Really struggled shooting the ball, especially early in that game. But all SEC guy who stepped up and made the big one when they needed it.
Sure
and
did.
A massive win for them and gives them a massive opportunity today now against Auburn, a team that has handled them twice this year. But if Ole Miss could find a way to knock off Auburn, that's a huge seeding win if they could get it.
Then you had Texas. Texas having won their first game and still needing to do a pretty good amount of damage in this tournament to be on the right side of the bubble. And they went out and they beat Texas A&M, and there are still many that believe they still have to win another. But we'll see. Texas beats Texas A&M, their rivals from the Lone Star State, 94-89 in double overtime.
Yeah, that was just a great game. I mean, it was just a war. First of all, I mean, those two teams obviously don't like each other very much to begin with, but just an absolute battle with. You had so many guys in foul trouble and fouling out of the game, and every time you thought one team was dead, they would somehow figure out a way to come back. It just was really, really fun to watch those two. And, there were a couple of different times I thought Texas A&M had won it, but then they would make some dumb play. Wade Taylor IV is a fantastic player, but he takes some of the dumbest shots that you will ever see. Like, you're like, what in the world? There's like 20 seconds on the shot clock, and he's launching from the logo for no reason whatsoever. He lived at the free throw line yesterday, 17 out of 18 at the line. And feels like he could, if he just is aggressive and go to the rim, he could get fouled just about every time he wants to. It was just such a great game, back and forth all afternoon long. That was fun to watch.
We had a 3-point game with Ole Miss and Arkansas. We had a 5-point double overtime game with Texas and Texas A&M. We'll get to our last game of the evening yesterday in a second. That was a 1-point game. The one game that was, I guess, you can consider a blowout, although it was not a blowout. But you look at the score and you go, Missouri handled Mississippi State easily. They win at 85-73. Again, that Jekyll and Hyde Mississippi State team, I don't trust them in the tournament. They could make a run to the Elite Eight and they could get knocked out in the first game. But Missouri gets that win 85-73. But the Kentucky and Oklahoma game, that was fantastic going down to the wire. Kentucky wins 85-84. Do you believe Oklahoma's done enough?
I think they're probably right now, I would guess. Again, going by what you look at the bracketologists, I think most people believe they're on the right side of things now. But some of those, there's teams behind them that are still playing and can still earn wins to pass them and knock them out. So that's just crazy that Otega Owe twice now. He transfers from Oklahoma to Kentucky, and then twice has hit a buzzer beater to beat Oklahoma this season. It's like,
wow.
If only Oklahoma could have held on to him and not let him transfer, or if he would have transferred anywhere else in the country, they might have 2 wins against Kentucky. But he has now beaten them twice, and again, not the best defense in that at the end there.
Bad luck charm
as they let him get way too far down there and come on the baseline. But it was. It's just like crazy that you would think that a guy who transfers from one school, first of all, to even have the opportunity to end up with 2 buzzer beaters against your former school is one thing, and to make both of them is another thing. It's absolutely crazy.
So in the end, as we get set for quarterfinal round action today at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, 7 of the top 8 seeds are in the quarters. The only one that's not is Texas A&M. Getting knocked out by the 13th seed, Texas. Texas A&M was the 5th seed. So here's your lineup for today. You have Ole Miss and Auburn playing at noon. Auburn an 11.5-point favorite. So Memphis, their game, and Ole Miss, their game on at the same time. Then you have Texas and Tennessee. Tennessee is a 9.5-point favorite. The evening session, Missouri and Florida. Florida an 8.5-point favorite over Missouri. And then Kentucky and Alabama, with Alabama a 6.5-point favorite. So the 4 quarterfinal round games, according to the odds makers, none of them who do this stuff believe any of these games are going to be relatively close. The lowest is 6.5. 6.5, 8.5, 9.5, 11.5 for the top 4 seeds.
Well, I mean, you're talking about top 4 seeds that are all in the running for number 1 seeds in the NCAA tournament.
Right.
Certainly none of them that will be lower than a 2 seed in the tournament. And, you know, teams playing against teams who are coming off, you know, all but really Missouri, and even Missouri again was a close game late in that game, but all those other 3 teams coming in off of emotional, physical, hard-fought wins and trying to recover and go at it, you know, less than 24 hours later. And so, I mean, it certainly sets up for those top 4 seeds, but something tells me we'll have some close games there.
Around the nation, outside of the SEC and the American, there looked like there was going to be a lot of big-time upsets. And then, for whatever reason, like I mentioned earlier, that Louisville game, inexplicably, the Stanford rebounder throws it right to the Louisville player who hits the elbow jumper at the buzzer, and they win it. So Louisville survives. In their game, you had the Creighton Blue Jays down the entire game in their Big East game, and they pulled that one out. There were a couple other ones that went down to the wire. Texas Tech had a big lead on Baylor and watched Baylor come all the way back and nearly pull that one off. Clemson struggled with SMU for the most part. SMU had their chances. You did have a couple of upsets. You had Iowa State go down to BYU, but really, is it an upset? BYU, the way they have played the last 5 weeks of the year, they win 96-92. So Iowa State, 12th ranked in the nation this week, do not get past the quarterfinals of the Big 12 tournament. Houston did win. St. John's won. Some of the other top teams around the nation. And Duke, the number 1 team, wins. They knock off Damon Stoudemire and Georgia Tech. But Cooper Flagg is hurt. And more than likely, Cooper Flagg will not play the rest of the ACC tournament. Now, Duke is going to get North Carolina, and they've dominated them in 2 games this year. Do you think this gives North Carolina a good shot or just maybe a puncher's chance to beat Duke in their 3rd meeting because Cooper Flagg's not playing? And they really need to win to get to the NCAA tournament for the most part, although I think they'll get in because they're North Carolina.
Well, I mean, I certainly think it gives them a chance. I mean, Cooper Flagg, not only Cooper Flagg, but Malik Brown also goes out yesterday with the separated shoulder. And Brown was the guy that really kind of shifted that last matchup against North Carolina when he came in and what he did defensively in that game. So, seeing that yesterday, at first when Flagg went down and he's in the wheelchair and everything else, and you're thinking, wow, like is Cooper Flagg going to be done for the year? And suddenly things have completely shifted. Luckily for them, X-rays negative, but who knows how long? Certainly before he's back, but also before, even if he's back, where is he? When does he get to 100%, if at all? Those types of things, and it. Things can change in a hurry. That's the thing. All it takes is one sprained ankle from somebody, and it changes a whole bunch of stuff in a hurry. And I don't see why you would even think about playing him, quite frankly, in the rest of the ACC tournament. There's no need for it. You're going to be a number 1 seed, regardless of what happens in the ACC tournament. At this point, the whole thought should just be, how do we get Cooper Flagg healthy the soonest we possibly can? And if that's first round of the NCAA tournament, second round, whatever it is. But Yeah, I obviously think North Carolina has a fantastic chance against Duke without him.
Hypothetical, real quick. Hypothetical. Flag, and we know he's going to be okay, and that's good news. Flag's done for the tournament. He's not going to play in the big dance. Is Duke still a number 1 seed?
I would say they probably are. But, I don't know for sure, but I would say they would probably still be a number 1 seed.
See, again, that drives me crazy. They're a really, really special team. Without Flag, they're a very good team, but they're not a special team. So I don't know why they wouldn't drop down when you had the whole controversy with football with Florida State and their quarterback and their second-string quarterback. I understand that, but the way they got screwed over, you would think that any team that lost their superstar would be damaged as far as where they would be seated. But you could also look at it like, well, they earned their spot. Well, didn't Florida State technically? It's kind of a double standard with football and with basketball. But I think you're right. I think they'd still be a number 1 seed. Corky's, they're number 1. They're number 1 in our hearts. They're number 1 in our stomach. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. My gosh, that slow-smoked barbecue, nothing like it. They've been making it for 40 years. They've been catering that entire time as well. And I know it's early. You're thinking breakfast right now, and I understand. But before too long, lunch, dinner, this weekend, you might be thinking about where to bring the family. Corky's is a great option. They have locations in Cordova, Germantown Parkway, in Olive Branch, Goodman Road. Also, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Poplar Avenue in Memphis. They have at the Cordova and Olive Branch locations a private party room. So if you have a birthday celebration coming up, maybe a family reunion, an anniversary, a graduation later this spring, think about reserving the private party room at Corky's. Delicious slow-smoked barbecue, as I mentioned, but also they have an award-winning catfish plate. They have tamales. They have burgers as well. Fantastic appetizers. The cheese and sausage plate is the way to start things off. And then for dessert, the banana pudding and all the great desserts, they are out of this world at Corky's. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. Check them out today, this weekend. Head on over to one of their 4 locations and enjoy that down-home cooking, that delicious barbecue from Corky's. When we come back, John Varlas joins us from Murfreesboro. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom-made solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
Corky's barbecue. Cooking it up. Down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days. Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's barbecue. With over 175,000 cars served in our drive-thru, 4,000 online pickup orders, and 1,500 party packs delivered to offices and events every year. Corky's is your trusted go-to barbecue for parties. Our party packs start at just $6.99 per person. You can choose 1, 2, or 3 meat combos and pick your favorite sides. And as you know, parties always give you plenty of food, so you never worry about running out. Whether it's pickup or delivery, we've got you covered. Corky's makes it easy to impress your guests. Visit Corky'sMediaFood.com to order for your next gathering. Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue. The first ever preseason pool spa and patio event is going on now at Family Leisure. First time ever. Unbelievable savings. You want a pool? They're starting at just $19.99. How about a spa? They're starting at just $29.99. Patio furniture sets are starting at $7.99. Cold plunges and swim spas are just, well, I can't even say those prices. But I will say, they're priced to move. There are so many deals going on right now during the first ever preseason pool spa and patio event. You've got to come in and see
see the savings for yourself. But wait, there's more. You can register to win either a free pool, a spa, or a patio set. Yes, a free pool, spa, or patio set. Just like our family leisure to sign up. This is a first time ever pre-season pool, spa, patio event. It's going on right now at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, Route 140. Family and fun come together.
I have so many people tell me they hear my ads on this station and that they want to know if I'm really as bad a golfer as everyone says. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Ben Storff Realtors. And yes, I hate to say I am. I wish I were in my 90s because I could then tell people I shoot my age. But being a bad golfer is not terrible because I devote so much of my time to selling homes to keep my clients happy. Over the many years in the real estate business, I developed a highly successful strategic marketing program, not merely a listing program. Using preparation, presentation, and proper pricing, it works. If you're thinking of selling, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure that I am one of them. Find out why people often say that when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. That's Shell Dunn Rosengarten, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now. Shell Dunn, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com.
Welcome to Fat Larry's in Bartlett. Come in today for award-winning barbecue and so much more. Catfish, steak burgers, chicken, certified prime Angus beef steaks, along with all the sides, homemade rolls, delicious desserts, beer, and service that is out of this world. Fat Larry's cooks everything made to order just for you. Dine in or order online at fatlarrys.com. We're the best barbecue, southern cooking, and friendly atmosphere in town. Family owned and proud of it. Fat Larry's, conveniently located at 7537 Highway 70, just west of Appling.
This traffic report brought to you by Triangle Meat Company, feeding Memphis since 1967. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 4790 Summer Avenue. Trust Triangle Meat Company.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Traffic's on the increase I-40 westbound as that traffic comes in from Fayette County, passing 269 on 40 west all the way down to Sycamore View Road. It won't be long before it gets a little bit busier the next few minutes up through Midtown on 240 north at Lamar. It's still building inbound on Sam Cooper. Weimer's Jewelry, serving the Memphis area for well over 40 years. There's a reason for that. They've been around for a long time because they treat you right. Shop local. Save a lot of money at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Well, not only is college basketball taking center stage, the NBA, but high school basketball as well. The state tournament is going on in Murfreesboro, and that's where John Varlas joins us from.
It's time for Greg and Eli's weekly visit with John Varlas. Again, check out John's prep sports coverage and much more at dailyredfan.com. John is brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis, where the pros and preps go to get their shot on Shoot 360 Memphis. Now here's John Varlas, Greg and Eli.
He is the award-winning prep reporter for the Daily Memphian, but so much more. He's John Varlas. He's with us each and every Friday. You can follow John on Twitter at John Varlas. And indeed, he's brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis. Hi, John.
Hey, guys. Yes, indeed. The off-season is almost here. Basketball season will be over for high school kids after next week, and that's the time to get back into the lab and get back to work and start getting ready for next season. And there's no better place to do that I can think of than Shoot 360 Memphis. 2 locations, the original in Collierville there, 901-316-5500, and the newer one that opened last summer out in Cordova. You can call them there, 901-779-3176. Same great people at both, same great products at both. The great technology developed by the folks at NASA. At NASA, that are used by pros like Steph Curry and others, and they give you real-time feedback, real-time data on what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, and you can also have the hands-on coaching and the excellent, coaching that Shoot 360 provides as well. So it's a great place. They'll get you right for the basketball season. Parents, grandparents, and if you got a young basketball player in your life, Shoot 360 Memphis is the place to be. So give them a call, tell them JV sent you, and go check it out for yourself.
Just think if in everyday life we had something that gave us immediate feedback of what we were doing right and what we were doing wrong.
It's called a wife.
Well, I believe I think I would probably be more on the wrong side than I'm on the right side.
Yes.
If I had a thing that
No question.
if I got the immediate feedback on my daily decisions.
No question.
I think I think we all would be, Eli, but that would be. I don't know if that would necessarily be a good thing if we did that.
No, you're right.
It would probably be. You probably hurt your self confidence. I made the wrong decision again. Like I thought for sure this was the right one.
30 times just this morning. Well, John, before we jump into what's going on in Murfreesboro and what's going on in the state tournament, is there a bone to pick this morning?
Just a little bit, guys, and I know I'm going to sound like an old fuddy-duddy or whatever because this isn't going back. And
just
I know. Thank you. Yeah, right, exactly. But it's not going back. It's not changing. And I'm sure you guys talked college basketball in your first segment, but I'm just never going to wrap my head around things like California and Stanford playing in the ACC tournament. I'm still not used to seeing Maryland. Greg, for example, your Maryland team in the Big Ten tournament. The ACC tournament is North Carolina State, Duke, Wake Forest, Maryland. Played at Greensboro. The Big East tournament is Georgetown and Syracuse and Villanova playing in Madison Square Garden. Connecticut playing in Madison Square Garden. I'm just never going to get used to it. It's not the same. It's not as fun. I think we've lost a lot with this conference expansion, particularly on the basketball side. And, saying all that, it's not going to change. It's here to stay, and, got to get used to it. But I'm not going to get used to it, and I'm not going to like it, and I've got a bone to pick with it.
Well, I'm with you, although the Big East is certainly now back to what it was with basketball only, and you have all those schools from back in the day that were the Big East, but you're absolutely right about everything else. I mean, it's just crazy when you're talking about Stanford. I had to, think about it twice yesterday when Stanford was playing Louisville. Oh, yeah, that's an ACC game. That's right, it's an ACC game. It doesn't make sense. It still doesn't make sense for Maryland. But anyway, go ahead.
The Big East is basketball only, but it's not Creighton, it's not DePaul, it's not
right.
I don't even know. Is Xavier in the Big East? I don't even know. Yes, I honestly don't even know anymore. It's just not the same. And Greg, I'm sorry about you. I'm sorry?
Not having Syracuse in the Big East is weird.
Yeah, that one. There you go. You're right.
It's really not. And Greg, I'm really sorry about your parlay last night.
I mean, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it was as bad a beat as you're going to take. But John, what is happening in your neck of the woods today in Murfreesboro? What's going on?
Well, we got the girls' tournament this week, and we have a big state quarterfinal, or excuse me, a semifinal game tonight. With the Bartlett Lady Panthers. They are in the semifinals for the third year in a row. Of course, they finished runner-up last year and runner-up in 2023 as well, so they're back in the semis again. Really good win yesterday against Oak Ridge, a team that came into this game with a record of 30 wins and 3 losses, so they were a quality team, but Bartlett played well, and they got a basket from a young lady named Faye Williams there at the end of the game, about 17 seconds left. She got loose on an inbounds play and scored and put them ahead by 2. And then Oak Ridge came down, got a good look at a layup, and they missed it. Bartlett got the rebound and held on, and they won 52-50, and they are through to the semifinals after a very, very good victory over a good team yesterday.
And there were a couple other teams in action yesterday that fell. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, Whitehaven also played yesterday in the large public school division. Unfortunately, Whitehaven didn't play well at all. They lost to a very good Bearden team by about 30 points. So not a good day for Whitehaven. Yeah, they didn't shoot the ball well. They unfortunately they just they just didn't play well at all, and it happens. But like their coach Lynn Smith said after the game, and I think he said it well. On the high school level, so much of it is so much of the victory is just getting to the state tournament and being one of the final 8 teams in the state in your classification. And and even though they lost by a considerable margin, they were remarkably upbeat about it, and they were able to find the pride and take a lot of the positives out of what they did. And and I thought really good attitude, really refreshing. Yeah, certainly you never want to lose by 30 points, but those girls and their coach, they were able to see the pluses of it, and kind of right after the game, were able to reflect on what they accomplished and know that they accomplished something special. And, it was a good thing overall.
And then earlier in the week, you had the Memphis Business Academy.
Yes.
Middle College was there also. Is that correct?
Right. That was on Wednesday. So Middle College in the Class 1A, the smallest public school division, they too, like Whitehaven, they lost by a kind of a heavy margin. It was their first ever time in the state tournament for those girls in that program. So first time in school history. That's a big deal for them, and also too for Middle College in Class 2A, it was their first time, and Eli, they played really well. I mean, they were playing a good York Institute team that has been to the state tournament 3 out of the last 4 years, and they had a girl on the team that was actually signed with Iowa State, a really good player. They held her to 9 points, and Memphis Business Academy did so much well. They shot the ball well, they defended well. They didn't show any nerves on the big stage for the first time, but they turned it over 18 times, and they turned it over with 9 seconds left when they had the ball with a chance to win the game, and they ended up losing by 1 point, and ultimately that's what cost them. But Eli, I've never seen a game where one team dominated the stat sheet as comprehensively as Memphis Business did, and still managed to lose the game. I mean, they dominated every category. You look at the stat sheet and you think, how did this team lose? Because they just played so well, but they turned it over, a few too many times, and they turned it over at the very worst time, unfortunately.
Yeah, because Middle College lost to the Van Buren girls, not to be mistaken for the Van Buren boys from Seinfeld. So
did they give them the sign?
But I was reading your story. Did the girl from Van Buren wear her contacts for this game? Because I saw that the coach said or whatever, like she wouldn't wear her contacts so she couldn't see.
She did, yeah. That was an interesting story. He said he's been begging her all season long to wear something. I get, contacts. He said he was going to buy her goggles if she didn't want to use contacts, but apparently she needed something. And she finally put them in, I guess, for the state tournament. And yeah, she had 23 points and 20 rebounds, and just dominated the post against Middle College.
It's amazing how much different you can be as a player when you can actually see.
Yeah, I don't understand. Why was she so much against seeing? Having vision.
Greg, I'm stubborn too, man. I need to wear glasses, and sometimes I don't wear them. I mean, people are stubborn, and she just didn't want to wear them, and ultimately they convinced her to wear them, and it certainly worked because
she has a 2020 game.
Yeah, I can understand.
2020 vision. Worked out. It was all perfect.
I was about to say I can understand. No, I can't understand either way. I can't understand this, but. Okay, young lady, maybe she doesn't want to wear glasses. It's not a good look or something. She's embarrassed by the I don't know. But contacts are contacts. If you can't see, wear the damn contacts. Nobody even knows you have them in there. So anyway, that's a unique story. So to recap, there were 4 area girls' schools in Division I in the public section that made it to the States, and we have 1 remaining. Is that correct?
That's correct, and to have 4 girls teams qualify, I've been doing this, regularly now since 2010, and 4 teams is by far the most we've had. So
nice.
Yeah, congrats to all of them. Bartlett's the only one that's that made it through the quarterfinals, but Whitehaven, Middle College, Memphis Business, all can be really proud of the season. And all 3 of those teams too, guys, they've got a lot of kids coming back. They're all, none of those 3 teams are senior heavy by any stretch. So, we very well all three of those could be right back in the mix next year, without too much trouble, because none of them are losing very much. So it's going to be interesting next year for those teams going forward.
Well, and you said it before a little bit earlier in this conversation. Look, nothing's given, right? Even though they have a bunch of the players coming back, nothing's given that you return to the States. So enjoy it. Even though you may have got thumped in the one game, the fact that you got here, as the coach said, is an accomplishment. So congratulations to them. You never know what will happen next year. There could be a key injury. A player could decide to move. The family could be moving out of the area. So enjoy it while you have it. So congratulations again to all four of those teams. All right, when we come back, we'll find out what's going on with boys action. The States for the boys is next week?
Yes, sir. Next week. We'll be right back here in same time, same place.
All right, we'll talk about the teams that are vying for spots there. John Varlas joining us from Murfreesboro, as he does each and every Friday, joins us for some prep talk and other things as well. And again, he's brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hello, sports fans out there. Walker Taylor here with the Germantown and Collierville Commissary. We just celebrated our 43rd year in business, and I would like to thank our fantastic customers and especially our loyal staff. Time has flown by. We now have a second location, Poplar and Houston Levy in Collierville. Catering is a specialty of ours. 50 to 5,000, no job too small, no job too big. Full service or self-service. We also have a party room in Collierville that is great for rehearsal dinners, business meetings, you name it, we'd love to have you. Also, our barbecue party packs start at $8.75 a person. Barbecue, beans, slaw, bun sauce, including serving utensils. Especially great for tailgating with football season coming up. Commissary restaurants also believe in giving back to the community. Possibly you have been approached by somebody selling a barbecue six-pack coupon for fundraising. Cheerleading groups, church groups, anything to help a worthy cause. Holidays are near. Smoked hams and smoked turkeys will be on the pit before you know it. Come see us at Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Also check us out at commissarybarbecue.com.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square for the Tigers and all your March Madness games. Fun, exciting, friendly, comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs, 24 tabs for all your favorite beers. Happy hour 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. Music Bingo Tuesday, upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, online ordering, and you found all your sports into one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Highway 70. Check Facebook for weekend music at the Owner's Box.
We are ready to meet anyone on your new Hyundai from Gossett Hyundai on the Pike during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Plus, you get America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Listen to this, Mid-South 2024 Hyundai Venue Limited. We Gossett 22,317. How about 2024 Hyundai Elantra Limited? We Gossett 24,997. 2025 Hyundai Elantra SEL Convenience 25,260. And 2024 Hyundai Sonata SEL Standard 26,353. This is what deals are made of at Gossett Hyundai 1870 Covington Pike. Online, HyundaiGossett.com. If you want it, we Gossett and Gossett Motor Cars.
341,155, MSRP 25,160. Elantra RU 821,411, MSRP 28,780. Convenience SU 856,185, MSRP 27,020. Sonata RA 415,696, MSRP 29,110. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports 56 Morning on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 7:49 the time. John Varlas joining us today from Murfreesboro. John brought to you each and every Friday by Shoot 360 Memphis. He's there for the D1 State girls basketball tournament, but next weekend it's all about the boys. So where do we stand as far as that, and how many teams and which teams do you expect to be in Murfreesboro next weekend?
Well, that's already been settled, Greg, and I tell you what, we almost really had something special on Monday night. We have the way the playoffs are structured with each of the 4 classifications. It's conceivable that we could have had 8 teams from the Memphis area make it to the state tournament, and we got really close to that. Fairleigh lost a close game. And I'm trying to think who the other team was. Mace lost a really close game as well. So having said that, we still got 6 through, and that's it's just going to be a tremendous week of local boys basketball here next week with 6 teams competing across 4 classifications. I mean, it's going to be special, and it's going to be super busy for yours truly too. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but we'll figure all that out and hopefully see some really great local basketball.
Not as much time to enjoy the wonderful tourist attractions of Murfreesboro. Going to be working hard.
Definitely not.
So when will that begin? When will the games begin there?
That starts next Wednesday. We'll have the Mr. and Miss Basketball ceremonies Tuesday night, and 3 local kids up for that. Fred Smith from Briarcrest in Division 2A, Taquez Butler from Whitehaven in Class 4A, and Tyler Jones from Hutchison in D2A girls. So that's going to be at MTSU Tuesday night, and the games start Wednesday. Hillcrest, congrats to Hillcrest in Class 1A. They made it to state for the first time, and in guys, they made it in just the most dramatic fashion you can think of. They're down by 2 points. They got the ball with 3 seconds left in the sectional, playing at home. Got to go full court, and they get the ball to Jacoby Lewis. He throws one in from half court, wins the game, and sends your school to state for the first time ever on a half court 3-point buzzer beater. I mean, you just can't get any better than that.
Yeah,
So
I saw the video. I didn't realize that was the first time they'd ever made. That's the dream come true. That's the scenario you grow up doing in your driveway, whatever. But yeah, that's amazing. That's the first time ever going.
That's a bad beat if you had the other team.
Sorry, say again, Greg?
I was trying to get a chuckle out of Eli. I said, that's a bad beat if you had the other team. A betting reference. I'm kidding when it comes to high school ball.
It is. I mean, for every dramatic winner, there's a heartbreaking loser.
Right.
Yeah, but no, I mean, and it's surprising too, because Hillcrest has had some really good teams down through the years, but they've always just got as far as the sectional, but they finally broken through this year. So congrats to them. Looking forward to seeing them, and then in Class 2A. Just like the girls team advanced for the first time this year, Memphis Business Academy boys have also advanced for the first time. So they'll be in action in Class 2A. In Class 3A, you've got Fayette Ware, really good Fayette Ware team that's been, in the top 2 or top 3 in the state all year long. They've made it for the third time in 4 years, and also Munford in Class 3A as well. Another great story. First time in 95 years for the Munford Cougars to be at the state tournament. So, not a lot of folks around from that team, obviously. So this is brand new for Munford as well. And congrats to them. And then in the large public school, you got Whitehaven, who we mentioned. I think, they'll probably be considered the favorite. They've won 23 games in a row, just a really loaded team with coached by Willie Kemp, the former University of Memphis Tiger. I think they've really got a chance to win it all, and also East, coached by Maurice Miller, the former Georgia Tech standout from Raleigh, Egypt. They finished actually 4th in the district, but they made it through the region tournament, and then they won their sectional game. So they're kind of on a nice little underdog run here East. So they've made it in Class 4A too. So it's just going to be fun to see how it all shakes out. Lots of different teams, lots of cool storylines, and some teams that are here for the first time or first time in a long time. So it's going to be really interesting.
It really is. Maurice Miller, I remember him very, very well, but I did not even have a clue that he was the coach at East High School. So good for him.
Yeah, it's his first year. He took over Shelby Rose was the coach over there, and then when Coach Rose got the job at FACS, Coach Miller took over. And, they've got a young squad. They went through the regular season, kind of under the radar. I mean, they're only, 17 and 12, 18 and 12, and like I said, they finished in 4th place in the district, but they made it to the championship game of the region tournament. They pulled a couple of surprises there, and then they lost to Whitehaven in the championship of the region tournament. But then they went on the road and won their sectional game, and voila, here they are. So I mean, it's a cool story. It really is.
Anything noteworthy this week from the spring sports, baseball, softball?
No, not too much. A lot of schools are on spring break this week. It's cool. The MUS soccer team has actually gone overseas to just kind of hang out and practice. It looks like.
What?
Yeah, they're and teams have done this in the past. I mean, Houston, they've gone over to England a couple of times, to get in some practice sessions with Manchester City. I know Christian Brothers went to Brazil a few years ago and practice with some of the youth teams down there. MUS is a really nice spring break trip for the Owls. They're in Scotland. They visited Rangers, the famous soccer club in Scotland. They visited Manchester City. Yesterday they were visiting Liverpool. I mean, they've practiced with some of the youth teams from those teams over there, and it looks like a great trip for those guys. I'm totally jealous. I mean, they're going to the some of the cathedrals and the great stadiums and great clubs in the history of world soccer. I'm very envious of the Owls. They're having a great spring break over there.
The hell with that. They're going to the home of the Beatles, for goodness sakes. The coach probably said to the kids, this is where Paul, George, John, and Ringo. Who? These kids probably have no clue who the Beatles are, but my gosh, to go to Liverpool, that's fantastic. Good for MUS.
Did they visit Ted Lasso? That's what I don't know.
Well, they're probably shooting their 4th season now, Ted Lasso, or maybe they already did.
Seems like a long way to go to practice.
Yes, it is.
Well,
I forgot my shorts. I forgot my cleats. I got to go back home.
Well, they've got a good booster club, I'm sure, that helped pull all that together. And these kids, I mean, it's just different from when we were younger guys. Some of these schools, they really get an opportunity to do some special things, and good for them. It's an experience they're always going to remember. Hopefully it'll help them on some level when they get back into the games and playing in the season. But but beyond that, yeah, man, they've got a lifetime full of memories, and something that if you're a soccer guy, I can't imagine a better trip. It's an incredible trip for those guys.
My coaches in my high school days would never have wanted to take me over there. I would have been just trying to sneak into the pubs and stuff like that. It would have been a bad situation.
Hey, who's this kid over here in the pub, man? Yeah, he strayed from the soccer team. John, thank you so much. Hopefully memories will be made for Bartlett today with the girls, and next week with 6 different area teams vying for state titles. John will have you covered at the Daily Memphian. Again, he is brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis. Follow him on Twitter at John Varlos. We'll talk to you next Friday, JV.
Yep, thank you guys. 7:15 tonight for Bartlett versus Cookeville in the semifinals. If anybody wants to tune in, I'll have all the updates on my Twitter page, and looking forward to talking to you guys from same time, same place next week, I guess.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. That's John Varlos from the Daily Memphian. We'll take a quick timeout, come back with Hour 2. Got some Grizzlies tickets to hand out, to give away. That's coming up. Also in Hour number 2 at 8:25, we'll head to Fort Worth, Texas. Matt Dillon will join us for the Tiger Basketball Report. The Tigers will crank it up today at noon against Wichita State in the American Conference Tournament quarterfinals. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
say, the price to move. There are so many deals going on right now during the first ever preseason pool spa and patio event. You've got to come in and see the savings for yourself. But wait, there's more. So you can register to win either a free pool, a spa, or a patio set. Yes, a free pool, spa, or patio set. Just like our family leisure to sign up. This is a first time ever preseason pool spa patio event. It's going on right now at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, with Road and I-40. Family and fun come together.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. I have been told that my ads are all business and I should share some of my personality. Okay, I love tongue twisters, like the one about the terrific tasting toast by Taste Tester Toaster, or Big Black Bugs, Bleed Blue Blood, and of course Sally and her seashells. Or of course the ever-present I'm a mother pheasant plucker, I pluck mother pheasants. Okay, enough of that. If you want an honest, fair, reasonable roofing, siding, or gutter estimate, call Fiveash Roofing at 367-0050. That's exactly what you'll get. No empty promises, no high-pressure sales tactics, and no fast-talking salesman trying to convince you that today and only today is the best day for you to get a new roof. For the record, the best day to get a new roof is when you're ready for one. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
This is Kelly Erb with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. I have worked with Sheldon Rosengarten for over 10 years and have noticed something about the way he works with his clients. He is way too honest, and they are grateful for us for pointing out things they were not aware of.
This is Sheldon, and yes, being honest has caused people to really think about what they need to do to sell their homes or when they buy. Kelly and I have advised people about what are the best and most economical things to do to prepare their homes for the market to get the best prices.
And Sheldon, we always provide our buyers with the necessary background research to advise them before they make an offer on a house. And yes, we have even sometimes talked clients out of buying, and they're grateful for us pointing out things they were not aware of.
So if you're thinking of buying a home, call or email Kelly or me, and before you list your home, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers, but make sure we are one of them.
Yes, remember to call me, Kelly Erb, at 355-3830.
And when you want the job done, call Sheldon or 30546 or memphisrelocate.com. Call us today.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 11 to join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa's PCMC Church.
This traffic brought to you by Brinson Tax Service. They protect you like family.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Starting to build on here now. Coming in from Fayette County as we check it out live on 40 westbound, passing 269, working your way down I-40 all the way to Sycamore View Road. Midtown traffic trying to build here the last few minutes. I-40 over here at Chelsea coming inbound on Sam Cooper. We've watched that traffic increase in certain spots. Weimer's Jewelry, conveniently located 7525 Highway 64, is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, with Dave Willotion, weekday mornings from 10 to 11.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:03 the time. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Friday, March 14th, 2025 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Elijah Seegers with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, check out their first ever preseason pool, spa, and patio events going on right now at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 63 degrees and cloudy, but it's going to get a little bad out there. In fact, right now, as I look at the forecast, it says there is now a very likely risk of severe weather today. So look out for damaging winds, large hail, possible powerful tornadoes. We're talking 81 degrees for a high temperature. Winds later this morning, early this afternoon, sustained 20 to 30, and then occasional gusts over 40. But then the bad weather expected to come in tonight And then in the overnight hours as well, before things will possibly clear up for a bit on Saturday, but there's still pockets of rain and possible thunderstorms on Saturday with the chances of precipitation at 85%. Good chance for rain, obviously. And then Sunday, 60 degrees, mostly sunny. Monday, sunny, and 71 to kick off the new work week. Hour 2 of the program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar Avenue between Mendenhall and St. Nick. On the web at gaddisjewelers.com. Maybe this weekend, if you're in the market for jewelry, maybe looking for that special engagement ring, is a good time to stop by James Gaddis Jewelers. They are open on Saturday from 10 to 4. They are closed on Sunday. And then Monday through Friday, they're open 10 to 5. Go in, see James, say hi to the folks. Tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. Now, each and every Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know the Memphis Tigers guard P.J. Haggerty was named second-team All-American by Sporting News the other day, with more possible All-American nods to come in the next few days and few weeks. I'm sure he'll be landing on a number of different teams. Is there a possibility he'll land on first-team All-American? Yes, there's that possibility, but Sporting News has him at second team. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar Avenue between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. All right, couple of things. We'll talk some Grizzlies, talk some NFL. Matt Dillon will join us at 8:25 from Fort Worth for the American Conference Tournament. I do want to give away a pair of tickets to Saturday's game. Not tonight. Tonight's the Grizzlies and the Cavaliers. Tomorrow, it's the Grizzlies and the Heat. But more importantly, Tony Allen, who was on with us yesterday, will have his number 9 jersey retired. It will be hanging in the rafters next to Zebo and next to Mark Gasol. Soon, one day, Mike Conley. But the ceremony will be Saturday, so you can go watch the game, go to the ceremony. All you have to do is this. We're going to do a trivia question via our text line, 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin line, 901-360-8255. The first to tell me what was Tony Allen's all-time best scoring game, the most points he has scored in a game in his career. Text it in at 901-360-8255, the most points Tony Allen has scored in a game in his NBA career. Okay? Not college, NBA, with the Grizzlies, or I guess with the Celtics too, right? Yeah, with the Celtics as well. 901-360-8255, most points Tony Allen has scored in a single game. The first person with the correct answer will be contacted, and you're going to go to the game tomorrow. Grizzlies and the Heat. All right, we got a big deal going on here with Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. We're giving away money.
That's right. Starting next week, starting on Monday, as long as the Tigers are alive in the NCAA tournament, we will be giving away $98.50 a day. It'll be not just on this show, but on the station every day. So as long as the Tigers keep winning, folks will keep winning. $98.50 available every single day. So you have to listen in to Sports 56 Mornings, Happy Hour, Sports Time, and every day one of us will be giving away $98.50 to some lucky listener out there. So again, as soon as the brackets are announced, until the Tigers are out of the tournament, we'll be giving away $98.50 a day. Thank you to our sponsors, Mid-South Small Engines, Calb Equipment, Buster's Liquors, and Buster's Butcher, and also the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold inspector in the Mid-South. And certainly, again, make sure you're listening and give yourself a chance to win some cash starting on Monday.
Yeah, and no, we're not going to tell you which show it will be on at the beginning of the day. You have to listen, and hopefully you're listening at the right time. The more you listen, the better your odds. Okay, so the Grizzlies tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The injury report came out yesterday, and it was quite good. Now, Santi's going to miss another game with the hip, but Jaren Jackson Jr., with the right ankle sprain, upgraded to questionable.
Yeah, very interesting because they skipped the doubtful stage of the recovery for Jaron, and interesting that would be for tonight. I would have thought tonight would be the doubtful, and then he would make his return tomorrow. Maybe he's going to come right back and play a back-to-back. That would not be the norm for the Grizzlies at all.
Right.
To have a guy come back from injury and immediately play a back-to-back. So we'll see what happens as far as that is concerned. But, I thought maybe that tonight's game they would kind of just sacrifice this game to be ready and win tomorrow night. But Cleveland is not going to have Donovan Mitchell tonight. So the Grizzlies may see this as a even better opportunity. And so maybe they could get the win tonight. Hopefully everybody's and have guys able to go the back-to-back. With Ja, if he plays the back-to-back, that would be 7 straight games for him, which we have not seen in a long time. So that'll be that's a very interesting thing to see Jaron upgraded for tonight's game to questionable.
Yeah, perhaps the Grizzlies, even without Spider-Man, without Donovan Mitchell, are trying to make a statement and show everybody that, yes, we are a real competitor. I saw the odds yesterday at DraftKings, and it went 1 through 8, the top 8 teams to win the NBA title, and the Grizzlies weren't among the top 8. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's nobody out there outside of maybe here in Memphis that thinks they can make a run. And I doubt it too, but maybe they shut up the doubters. And while tonight doesn't mean anything when it comes to the postseason, maybe it is a statement maker. Cleveland comes in riding a 15-game winning streak. And even without Mitchell, you have Garland and Mobley and Jared Allen. You have a lot of solid players to stars. And they're a very, very good road team. They're 25-6. They're great at home, 30-4. But again, riding a 15-game winning streak. They've had winning streaks of 12 or more 3 different times this year. So maybe it's a statement for the Grizzlies tonight, who come in riding a 4-game winning streak themselves after having dropped 4 straight. Yeah, I thought the same thing you did. I thought today, all of a sudden on the injury list, well, when it came out yesterday, there would be Ja's name, because Ja doesn't usually play 6 in a row, but he's going to play 6 in a row. Jaren Jackson Jr., like you said, skipping the probable, going to the questionable. Vince Williams is going to play. Vince Williams hasn't played back-to-back since his return, so does that mean he's out for tomorrow? As you said with Jackson, I can't see them playing him back-to-back, just coming back from the ankle sprain. So you're sacrificing more than likely some talent tomorrow night on Tony Allen night. You don't want to lay an egg on Tony Allen night. You want to go out there and beat Miami. But the thought, I guess, is Miami is not a great team. They're going to be in the postseason, but they're number 9 right now in the East, and that with our players, we should be able to take care of business. The last time that happened was that Spurs game where everybody didn't play on that Saturday, and they lost the Spurs game, and then I forget who they're getting ready for on Monday. Maybe it was the Knicks. But anyway, it seems like they're doing that type of thing, but trying to put their best foot forward against a Cleveland Cavaliers team that has been outstanding this year. And then we'll see what happens tomorrow again against a Miami Heat team that's fairly average at best, and they're 7 games under 500 record-wise. So record-wise, they're not even average, 29-36. So maybe that's the thought process. But I can't imagine we'll see Jackson back-to-back, Williams back-to-back. There'll be some guys on the injury list after this game going into tomorrow. But for tonight, about as healthy as you can be. Without Santi Aldama, though, which still concerns me a bit with that hip injury. We haven't heard a lot about the status of Santi Aldama, and I think he's a very important part of this team and has proven that from the get-go this year. But the Grizzlies tonight against Cleveland, that should be fun. Again, hopefully the severe weather holds off and people can get in and out of FedEx Forum without any issues. And then tomorrow again, Tony Allen night, which is going to be a lot of fun. Once again, if you missed our interview, at your leisure, just go back, go to the website, sportsmemphis.com, under featured audio, there it is. pop it on, listen, TA at his best as he usually is.
Especially if we do see Jaron come back and immediately play a back-to-back, this could just very well be a sign that the Grizzlies understand that they need to win games right now. They're trying to get that number 2 seed, and back-to-back or whatever, they need their guys, and they're, especially with home games, you want to take advantage of the games on your home floor. If you're going to get that 2 seed, go out there and give it your best shot, and guys are going to have to play back-to-backs and all of that stuff. If you win now, hopefully you can end up wrapping up the 2 seed, and some of these guys can get some rest at the end of the year before playoffs. But you need wins right now, because it's a very tenuous thing between number 2 and number 5 right now in the Western Conference.
Well, last week they were going the wrong way. The losing streak, they had dropped down to 4th and almost 5th, and now they are tied for 2nd. But as you said, it's congested. You're talking about 4 teams, 2 through 5, separated by a game. That's it. Grizzlies and Nuggets 42 and 24, Lakers 40 and 24, and the Rockets 41 and 25. Now, last night, the Lakers lost again. They got beat by 20 in Milwaukee, despite Luka Doncic going for 45. But when you don't have your leader, LeBron James, who again, yesterday, it was reported that he was heading back to L.A. for treatment. Didn't Charles Barkley have an issue with that last? I don't know what I didn't hear what he said, but I saw a caption where Barkley was like questioning something. But anyway, LeBron James, who we knew when he got hurt was going to be out 1 to 2 weeks, they've lost a couple of games in a row now. Again, Luka went off, but still not good enough. You have to have the combination of LeBron and Luka, so they lose by 20. There wasn't much action in the NBA last night, but there was a late game in which the Warriors, who are coming on strong, beat the Kings 130 to 104. And in that game, a guy named Steph Curry hit his career 4,000th three-pointer.
It's a lot of three-pointers.
And if you count all the ones that he hit at shoot 360, got to be at least 4,001. So that's a lot of three-point. Absolutely amazing. Golden State has been a different team since the acquisition of Jimmy Butler, and a dangerous team, I'm sure, when it comes to the postseason. Also, there was news that came out of San Antonio that they're going to close shop on De'Aaron Fox. Looks like he is done for the rest of the season. Repair tendon damage in his left pinky. So they already shut down Wemby. Fox is shut down, and they are getting themselves in a position, Eli, as you have said, although you can't earn the spot by where you finish, but you have a higher percentage and a higher or better chance to get the number 1 spot the further down you are in the standings. And so maybe when it's all said and done, when the draft takes place, the draft lottery, the San Antonio Spurs get lucky again.
It's what they do, especially when there is a generational type talent coming out. They tend to have some pretty good luck when it comes to the draft lottery on those years.
So how do we look at Janai Broome for the NBA? If we look at Cooper Flagg as a generational talent, how do we look at Janai Broome? Because I'm trying to put this into perspective with the Ja draft, when it was Zion Williamson as the generational talent and Ja Morant as this exceptional athlete who ended up going 2. What are we talking about here? These two are not the athletic freaks that Zion and Ja are and were coming into the draft, but you're talking about 2 incredibly gifted basketball players. But I wonder how Broome is going to be right there in the draft, but how he's being looked at. Is he being looked at as a guy who's going to be a superstar in the NBA, a solid role player, a starter for 10, 12 years? Because if you're saying Cooper Flagg's looked at as a generational talent, is there that much of a disparity between those two players?
From the NBA, I don't think people really think very highly of Jedi Broom as an NBA player.
Why is that?
Probably not athletic enough, big enough. I mean, I don't really look at Jedi Broom necessarily as an NBA guy.
He's also 23 years old already.
Which that alone in the NBA, they're like, man, that's old man. That's old man at 23. What are we going to do?
So I haven't looked at an NBA mock, right? I imagine Flags won, but have you seen them, Elijah?
Yes, and the consensus around Janai Broom is a late first-round pick, early second-round pick.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. I didn't know that. I just haven't got into that NBA draft mode yet. I'm still thinking NFL right now in the NFL draft next month. I had no idea that that's the way they looked at that guy. So another one of those incredibly gifted, outstanding college players that we talked about the other day, right? We talked about some of those guys, like the Oscar Sheebways of the world, the Luka Garza, those kind of guys. So I didn't know Broom was in that category.
Along your line of the age thing, Elijah, I just pulled up just one. I went to NBADraft.net just to see the top 14 picks they have in their mock draft are all freshmen.
Well, I know the Boozer twins, right?
They're 2026.
Yeah, they're not.
They're 2026. Okay. So all freshmen, huh? How many foreign players? Do you have that list in front of you?
Well, in the top 14, I mean, I guess. Well, yeah. I mean, there's the
one I'm looking at. There's only one.
Coaches or whatever from Illinois.
Isn't there a foreign player? Oh, he may not be a freshman though. I'm trying to think of the. He's out at St. Mary's or out there on the West Coast somewhere. Isn't also son? What's his name? The former. He played with the Kings. The foreign player.
Peja Stojakovic?
Nah, it's not Stojakovic. It's another one of those foreign players.
No, his son plays for Cal.
Oh, then it is Stojakovic. Okay, and it's Cal. Yeah, and I said St. Mary's. I knew it was somewhere out west. Where does that kid stand? He's really good, isn't he?
Yeah, Andrei Stojakovic, he's a good scorer. He's a projected late first-round pick, early second-round pick as well.
There you go. All right. Yeah, I didn't think it was Stojakovic, but that's him. That's the one I was thinking about. The madness is beginning. Dinstall's has all the sweet treats, whether you're traveling to the games or watching them from home. Cashew Crunch, Turtlettes, chocolate basketballs galore, and, of course, the chocolate-covered strawberries, grapes, and pineapples. So stop by today. Pick up your favorites for March Madness, for any sporting event, anytime. It doesn't have to be just sports. It's always a good time for Dinstall's. They've been making these chocolates and candies for 123 years, which just boggles the mind. The best chocolates you'll ever put in your mouth. It's Dinstall's, 5 locations. Downtown Memphis, they're in Laurelwood and East Memphis. Pleasant View, where they make the candies, they're out in Germantown and Collierville. It's Dinstall's for March Madness and for any time of the year. And remember, they can ship anywhere in the country. Dinstall's fine candies and chocolates have been putting smiles on people's faces for 123 years. When we come back, we're heading down to Fort Worth, Texas. That's where Dickies Arena is. That's where the American Conference Tournament is going on. And we'll be joined by the professor, Matt Dillon. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 912-271-5199.
Every year it's the
the same thing. March arrives, and I want to tell all of you to spend as much time as possible at Bell Tavern watching college basketball. But I also want to ensure everyone that Bell Tavern is not a rowdy sports bar where you'll run into people that can't drink and watch a game without yelling. Once again, let me say Bell Tavern is a great place to watch college basketball where you won't run into people that can't drink and watch a game without yelling. Bell Tavern is not a sports bar. Bell Tavern is a grown-ups bar.
Plus finance through KFA, K4 SDO 87712, MSRP 25320, K5 S53 28285, MSRP 28455, Telluride SG 596204, MSRP 41060, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, excludes tax title and license with approved credit, dealer stock only, see dealer for complete details, offer valid through 4225.
Hey, I tracked down my buddy Jeff Allen over at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah. Hey, what's up, brother?
We're ready to rock over here, Randy. 2025 Kia K4 LXS, $159 a month with class-leading torque and fuel efficiency. 2025 Kia K5 GT Line, $199 a month. And a 2025 Kia Telluride S front-wheel drive with more power, larger cargo area, and more ground clearance than a Nissan Pathfinder. $398 a month. All $49.99 due at signing. 24-month lease.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So if you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
That's Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah. Online anytime, KiaMountMoriah.com.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square for the Tigers and all your March Madness games. Fun, exciting, friendly, comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs, 24 taps for all your favorite beers. Happy hour 3 to 6 Monday through Friday for Music Bingo Tuesday, upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, online ordering, and you found all your sports into one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Highway 70. Check Facebook for weekend music at the Owner's Box.
We are ready to meet anyone on your new Hyundai from Gossett Hyundai on the Pike during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Plus, you get America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Listen to this, Mid-South 2024 Hyundai Venue Limited. We Gossett 22,317. How about 2024 Hyundai Elantra Limited? We Gossett 24,997. 2025 Hyundai Elantra SEL Convenience 25,260. And 2024 Hyundai Sonata SEL Standard 26,353. This is what deals are made of at Gossett Hyundai 1870 Covington Pike. Online, HyundaiGossett.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
341,155, MSRP 25,160. Elantra RU 821,411, MSRP 28,780. Convenience SU 856,185, MSRP 27,020. Sonata RA 415,696, MSRP 29,110. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
This traffic report on Sports 56 is brought to you by Palo Windows and Doors of Memphis and the Mid-South Palo Windows. The standard is affordable luxury.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It's been pretty light to moderate out here. Now it's starting to pick up a little bit more traffic coming in from Fayette County into Shelby County on 40 going westbound as you come past 269 on I-40 here at Germantown Parkway. Still looks good, 385 Bill Morris Parkway as you work your way inbound onto that ramp to 240. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:28 is the time. About 3.5 hours away from tip. Down at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas, Memphis, and Wichita State in the quarterfinals of the American Conference Tournament. And we are pleased to be joined, as we are each and every week, by Matt Dillon, Tigers basketball radio analyst. It's the Tigers Basketball Report, brought to you by Central Barbecue, Binswanger Glass, Colonial Hardware, and Napa Cafe. Of course, Matt is ready to be on the call, so he's down in Fort Worth. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing very well, getting ready for, I guess, revenge time, hopefully, for Wichita State. So, yeah, a lot of excitement here and down in this area for the Tiger fans. But what I tell you guys, the attendance at this tournament has been very, very disappointing to say the least.
So last week I asked you if there was maybe one team that you would kind of want to avoid, and you said Wichita State. So are you a little nervous about today?
Yeah, I really am a little apprehensive in some ways, Eli, to be honest with you. I think because yesterday they came out, and they're a funny team to me because they play in spurts, and they'll get 8 or 10, 12-point lead, and all of a sudden it evaporates. So I guess they go in a trance for 3 or 4 minutes and let leads evaluate, and then they go say, hey, let's call a timeout and let's go back and get the lead again. What do we do to get back to where we were? They really just spurred up and down, so they're a real streaky team. They got some pieces. Washington's a good player, and their point guard, Cortez, has really started to play good basketball for them. And I think that's been the real key to their being better in the second half of the year. Now, Mills is a good coach. Did a good job at Oral Roberts. He kind of came into a situation. Isaac Brown really didn't get it done. They had to change again, and they've never been back to when Greg Marshall was head coach. But this is a program that's got some pieces. He's a good coach. They have a little momentum now. Playing that first game, I think, in a tournament a lot of times is important to a team because you get a taste of it. You're in the arena and everything else. I'm just a little apprehensive because, he can have a great game. And if the Tigers, again, there's going to be some fans there, some Memphis fans. But, fellas, that building it's unbelievably empty. It is amazing. There's more people in our restaurant last night that were eating in than attended.
I don't think it's unbelievable, Matt. I don't think it's unbelievable. It comes with the territory, and thus the reason why they're leaving Fort Worth, and it's going to be somewhere else next year, hopefully here in Memphis.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And here's the thing. You got to make your own energy again. Down at UTSA, it was a very similar situation. You had to go in there, and, and then you kind of slacked up at the end. But this team, I think for Wichita State, they've beaten the Tigers once. That's a factor, too. They're not going to be afraid of the thing. I think the real thing is the start. If they come in and they stay with the Tigers for a while, this game could get real interesting because they can grind it out through a team. They can slow it down, put it in the half court. They can do some things. They've got a big kid. Now, I don't know how Danger's going to play against him. He didn't do very much the last time, that's for certain. I don't feel it'll be that way today, but he's a big guy. He's not a guy that changes into the floor and really strikes you, but he's big inside. He takes up space. That bothers Dane at times when you do that, and if you can push him out of way off the block a little bit, it takes away some of his scoring. So they have some tools that they would use to do some things. They're not a good three-point shooting team. That's one negative factor for them. Now, they did it yesterday. The second most threes they hit all year was in the game yesterday. 10 was the mark, the first game of the year, Western Kentucky. They had 9 yesterday. So, but they're a team that grinds it out. They're not a team that does a lot of fast breaks or, does things like that. They kind of slow you down a little bit. So, kind of like the teams that bother the Tigers a little bit, when they can get some tempo going, to be slow, I think it could be a very interesting situation. If the Tigers come out and they blitz them early, I think it's certainly going to be a different situation for the outcome.
Matt Dillon is joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines from Fort Worth, Texas. The Tigers and Wichita State at noon. Look, I know you don't win games on paper, and I think this is a dangerous Wichita State team. It's a 9.5-point spread. I think it's a little high, but here's why.
Me too.
Here's why I like Memphis for a couple of reasons. One, ironically, 1 year ago today, they lost to Wichita State in the conference tournament. Now, the players are all different except for Jourdain, but still, that's something probably emphasized by Coach Hardaway. Then, as you mentioned, they've lost only 2 in the conference, one being at Wichita State in overtime the last time they played. And I also think that they understand, look, they just celebrated and cut down the nets at FedEx Forum after clinching the regular season title. They don't want that to be something that is the only celebration they have this year, because if they lose this game or lose tomorrow and don't make the championship game, it's going to hurt them on many levels, including probably dropping them a seed line. So they know they're sort of carrying the weight of the program and all that celebration last week into this tournament this week. So you combine that with the revenge factors, right, Matt? And then also, when they have faced I bring this up all the time. People are probably sick of me saying it, but when Memphis faces adversity, this team, they always bounce back from it. And that adversity was losing the last time they played these guys. I think they'll be ready to go. I just don't think it's going to be a game that they win by double digits because they usually don't. So I think the spread's a little bit high, but I love Memphis to win this game in advance.
I do too. The big thing, well, two big things to me. One, can they handle Haggerty? Speaking of Wichita, I don't know if they're going to be able to stop him. He's playing such good basketball right now. You get a guy of his caliber that can take over a game. That's why he's Player of the Year. He can take over a game if they need to. That's one thing that they don't have on their team. And second, the turnover situation. They just can't turn the ball over like they did UTSA. That's the big thing as well. And one thing about Wichita State, they kind of dig and try to do things too, which opens up opportunities on the perimeter for snipers. And then the third thing to me, you got Rogers on this team. He's the guy that hit the three last year that really cost the Tigers a game down here. So, he's going to be pumped up and ready to go. So there's a lot of factors that are positive for the Tigers, and they're certainly going to have more people here than anybody else. I mean, Wichita, when they first came into the league, would bring a ton of people with them. Now, they may have had 30 or 40 people there yesterday. It's really sad in a lot of ways to see it. And I've told you guys before, this team needs to be good, Wichita, for the league to be successful. So they need to get this thing cranked up if they can. They're one of the programs that's done a lot of things in the past successfully. So hopefully they can get this thing back. But, Greg Marshall left a legacy there, and they so far haven't been able to fill it. And that's the sad thing about it.
That's a good point, Matt.
In the game at Wichita, Wichita State won, Haggerty was just 2 of 11 from the field. What did they do defensively against him, or was it just him missing shots?
Missing shots. He got the looks, and Tyrese had a good game. And I think he gave up some stuff for him as well. And here's Rogers didn't have a good game, so that's maybe something I think to look forward to too. I think he's going to be ready to play. But you're exactly right; they didn't do anything extra on him. Now Cortez is a big guard. He's about 6'5". He's probably about 205, 210. He's a big, strong guy, and he did muscle him a little bit, but the problem was Danger just didn't play up there. And that was the thing that hurt him, too, because he opens a lot of stuff up. Yes. I mean, he hasn't really played well either time against them, to be honest with you. He hasn't had great games either time out. So the challenge is there for him. I talked to him a little bit, and we were going down the elevator, and I said, "Are you ready?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, I got to play a good game against these two teams. I said, "Well, I think he will." He seems like he's mentally focused. Now, when that ball tips off, you guys have been around a long time too. You just don't know which way it's going to go. So you got to turn the ball over negatively. If you can get that way for Wichita, make them cough it up and have possessions, the Tigers start going the other way. I think that's a big factor as well. So, holding the ball on for the Tigers, forcing turnovers, which I think the Tigers defense can do. If they really get down and play, pretty tough defense, I think they can make that Wichita State turn the ball over.
What I remember most about the second game, it was the quick turnaround. You went from Tampa to Wichita, because we talked about it with you on the show. But I remember, because I got into a discussion with Wolo about this, and we differed on it. I thought the perimeter defense for Memphis was horrible. It was horrid. That's what I wanted to say. They did not defend on the perimeter, and therefore Wichita State was able to get to the hole. And that was when Dane was playing so poorly. It was Cisse that played really, really well. And I said, listen, Cisse is guarding now the dribbler, the penetrator who's gotten by the Memphis defender on the perimeter, and then he'd either dish it off for a dunk or a layup. So Cisse had to, do I go to the ball, the driver, or do I go to the big that I'm defending? And he was stuck between a rock and a hard place. And I thought he and Jourdain defensively did the best they could, but I thought they were put in a bad situation by the Memphis perimeter defense. So that's something I'm going to look forward to seeing, how much better they are guarding the perimeter and preventing Wichita State from that dribble drive penetration.
You're right. It's interesting you said that. Now, if you remember the end of that game, there was a switch, and Musa got caught, and that's where the three by Cortez.
Right.
That big one he hit, and they switched wrong, and he didn't get out on the perimeter. And it's hard for him to get out there to close out that far away. So, yeah, really misread. He went under the screen, and boy, and he couldn't get it back. And that's an important point. Now they'll do a lot of things in the half court. So, they'll make you switch and force you to do that. Their team is pretty disciplined, but Cortez will pick his way and find openings. He did it yesterday. That's one thing that I thought they did real well. They penetrated with that dribble drive situation, and he kicks to guys and leaves them open. And Washington, guys, is a good player now.
He is.
You leave him open, he's going to hurt you. And there's no question about it. He had 21. Cortez had a career-high 20, first 20-point game in his career, 7 assists yesterday, playing good basketball. So you're exactly right. Dribble penetration, you got to cut it off. Now, the Tigers are able to do it. They've done it to a lot of people. I just think they're going to be geared down on defense today. I think that's one thing they're going to try to really stop these guys.
If the Tigers do win the game today, do you expect to see Florida Atlantic or Tulane tomorrow?
Man, that's like, I don't know. Who do you call in a game? Well, I probably would think, honestly, that Tulane should beat them. Now, we'll see what happens. Florida Atlantic did not play great yesterday. They're a team that doesn't match up very well in a lot of ways. I think Tulane's a team that will really come after you on defense. So they got a nice point guard, Brumbaugh, a kid that really does a lot of good things for him. I just believe Tulane with Hunter will probably prevail, and we'll see. Now, making predictions is crazy because this league's so wacky in a lot of ways when you look at it. But Florida Atlantic's not a great team. I mean, the Tigers blitzed them twice this year. They played okay yesterday in their game. I didn't think they played tremendously well. Of course, you're going against Charlotte, which is a team that, was not very good. But if I had to look at both of them, I think Tulane probably has a little bit of advantage. I think their players are a little bit better, but we'll see how it all works out.
Look, it should be chalk in the end. It should be 1 versus 2. It should be Memphis taking on North Texas, and they played a hell of a game in Memphis earlier in the season. In fact, very early in the conference schedule. But, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It's Wichita State today, and Matt, of course, will be on the radio call with Dave Woloshin. Matt, as always, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Hopefully next Friday, I don't know where you'll be, somewhere around the country, but we'll be talking to you about the Tigers and where they are and what they were seeded and how they were underseeded and all that good stuff. Enjoy the rest of your weekend down there in Fort Worth. Thank you, Matt.
All right. I appreciate you guys. Go Tigers, man.
Thank you, Matt. Matt Dillon, Tiger Basketball Report, brought to you by Central Barbecue, Binswanger Glass, Colonial Hardware, and Napa Cafe. All right, when we come back, got some NFL news to get into, some other things as well. And a sports writing legend passes away, in case you missed the news on John Feinstein. Talk a little bit about him when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Volkswagen deal days are on, and it's your best time to buy a Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. Right now, 2024 Taos SE's only $239 a month. How about 2025 Jetta SE? We Gossett $269 a month. New 2023 Taos SE's only $26,998. All 2024 Volkswagen Atlas SEL Peak Editions or all 2024 Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport SELR lines, $5,000 off. Plus new 2023 VW Atlas SE Tech, $31,999. So hurry to Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike. Online, GossettVWMemphis.com. Gossett is charging for it and charging less every day. If you want it, we got it at Gossett Volkswagen.
MSRP 27,116, Taos SE, RM 107,067, MSRP 30,658, 23 Taos, MSRP 32,119, Tech PC 513,081, MSRP 43,646, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, excludes tax file and license. See dealer for complete details, offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
Napa Cafe celebrates 26 years in 2024. Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe. 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us as we celebrate 26 years of Napa Cafe in 2024. We can't wait to serve you.
Admit it. When you start thinking about tastes of Memphis, you think treats, sweets. You think Dinstall's. For 122 years now. What is that, 5 generations? When people wanted something to bring to a party that will just make everybody happy, they bring out Dinstall's. 122 years of cashew crunch, of heavenly hash, of turtlettes, of their award-winning fudge. That's worldwide. It's known that well. Then there's the milk chocolate. It all starts there. There's the double-dip peanuts. And then every fall, those famous chocolate-covered strawberries with that fondant. And they won't tell you what's in the fondant, but it makes it oh so special. And easy to get to. 5 locations. There's where they make the candies in Pleasant View. There's Germantown. There's Collierville. There's even one downtown and in my neck of the woods in Laurelwood. You know what? 122 years made in Memphis and enjoyed by the whole world. Dinstall's.
It's putt-putt time. The weather's getting right for a little turn outside. Putt-putt Golf and Games Driving Range is a good place to be. At Putt-putt Driving Range, $10 get you a small bucket of balls, use of the chain and putting greens, and a tracer. Even senior rates available. Putt-putt Golf and Games Driving Range. 5484
Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
New showroom, less wait for service, and the greatest deals during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event at Gossett Hyundai South Mount Moriah. 2024 Hyundai Venue Limited. We Gossett 22,317. How about 2024 Hyundai Elantra Limited? We Gossett 24,997. 2025 Hyundai Elantra SEL Convenience 25,260. And 2024 Hyundai Sonata SEL Standard 26,353. Plus you get America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So don't miss the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event at Gossett Hyundai South, 2660 Mount Moriah. Online anytime, HyundaiMountMoriah.com. If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
341,155, MSRP 25,160. Elantra RU 821,411, MSRP 28,780. Convenience SU 856,185, MSRP 27,020. Sonata RA 415,696, MSRP 29,110. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
All right, good news. We have another pair of tickets for the Grizzlies Heat game tomorrow night, the Tony Allen jersey retirement game that we'll give away in hour number 3. But I did throw out a trivia question earlier, and we had Matt Dillon on, so I neglected to tell you guys that we did have a winner right away. The answer to the question was the most points Tony Allen has scored in one single NBA game, and the answer is?
That would be 30 points. 2006, December 15th, when he was still a member of the Boston Celtics in a win over the Denver Nuggets. 30 points, 11 for 13 from the floor. 2 for 2 behind the three-point line and 6 for 6 at the free throw line. Very efficient game for the Grindfather.
All right, so our winner will be contacted by Elijah. Enjoy the basketball game tomorrow night with the Grizzlies and the Heat. Of course, the Grizzlies tonight with the Cavaliers in town. That should be a lot of fun as well. And then the Grizzlies will hit the road. Time winding down in the regular season.
So I was looking at Wichita State. Some information. On December 29th, Wichita State played Friends.
They played their friends?
They played Friends.
Okay.
Might have been Joey Tribbiani. And I don't know. I have no idea. It just says...
Addison's got a great
it says
shot.
It says Friends. I've never... I don't know if it's Friends University. I don't know what the hell that is. I've never... But they knocked off Friends 87-72. They are a horrendous shooting team.
By the way, that's the kind of crap that Tim Pernetti has to get rid of. You can't schedule Friends.
They did.
You have to schedule legitimate teams. No NAIA teams and D2.
Better than scheduling enemies. I guess. I don't know. But they are 348th in the nation in three-point percentage. They shoot less than 30% from three-point range. The only real strength of Wichita State is their free throw defense. They're third in the nation in free throw defense, so good for them.
Free throw defense.
Good for them.
Cortez is good, though. I like Cortez. Washington's pretty solid. Matt talked about him. Ballard, who didn't do anything yesterday, was really good the last time they played Memphis. Yeah, it's not a good team. They won 19 games, but yeah, when you're playing Friends, you're gonna chalk up the dubs. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Where do you think Friends? I'm saying Friends University.
I'm going Pennsylvania.
I'm going Kansas.
Oh,
you may know this, huh?
I feel like it's definitely a Midwestern school.
Okay.
Well, it's actually good. That's a smart thing too, because if Wichita State's playing them.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense.
They are in Wichita. Friends University is in Wichita.
So that would be like Memphis playing Lemoyne Owen. Friends is what, NAIA, I assume? Maybe D2?
They are NAIA.
NAIA.
Their mascot is Freddie Falcon.
Freddie Falcon. Nice. Not Freddie Freeman?
Let's see if there's any. Let's check out our notable people from Friends University. Joey Tribbiani is not one of them.
There's no way there's anybody like incredibly famous from Friends. Might be somebody like the business world we never heard of.
R.C. Buford.
R.C. Buford went to Friends?
Went to Friends University.
Oh, my gosh. I stand corrected.
That's the...
Not that he will be confused with Leonardo DiCaprio or anything like that, but, we know the name R.C. Buford.
Yeah, that's the only name that would be... The head women's basketball coach at Pittsburgh State University went to Friends.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nobody else that you would possibly recognize amongst their notable people listed on their Wikipedia page.
Brian Baroni's going to join us at 9:05. He's the head coach of SIUE. That is the Cougars. That's Eli's alma mater. They're going to the NCAA tournament, and then we will have 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. That'll come your way at approximately 9:25, 9:30, or thereabouts. Sad news from the sports world. Sports writer, author, sports reporter, John Feinstein, friend of the show. It was a delight to have John on one time on our show years ago. Has passed away at the age of 69. I think he was discovered by his brother. I'm not sure if he was at his brother's house or his home in Northern Virginia. And they say died of natural causes. He wrote books like A Season on the Brink about Bobby Knight and the Indiana Hoosiers, A Good Walk Spoiled about golf. I mean, you talk about one of the great sports writers of all time, John Feinstein. Sad news when I heard that yesterday, passing away at the age of 69.
By the way, Friends University, on their basketball team, they have a guy whose first name is Ring, and his last name is spelled D-E-N-G. So I would assume he is Ringding.
Dang. Ring dang, not ring dang.
Is he related to Luol Deng?
I don't know.
Ring ding.
Ring ding. Ring a ding ding. Ring ding.
He ring the bell when he makes a shot.
Good for Ring ding. He did not do well. He had 8 points. He struggled a little bit shooting the basketball in their loss to Wichita State. But good for Ring ding. They also have a Will Mays. Not Willie, but Will Mays.
By the way, ring dings, Drakes, anything from Drakes. I don't know if they still make Drakes. Maybe people know out there if they do. We talk a lot about I do Tasty Cakes, which are fantastic around here. They like their little Debbies and all that. And then there's Hostess, Drakes, the Yodels, the Ring Dings, the Devil Dogs, the Yankee Doodles. That was some cupcakes.
None of them play for Friends. Ring Ding does.
Ring Ding does.
The rest of them do not.
Okay. From the NFL, some more quarterbacking news that does not involve Aaron Rodgers. Right now, he's all quiet on the Western Front, doing what he does, which is weird stuff. Russell Wilson, though, reportedly is visiting the Giants and trying to get his future here in gear. Russell Wilson, I don't know where he'll land, but that's the first we've heard of Russell, because we were talking the other day as far as opportunities out there. Are they going to run out? But teams need quarterbacks, need veteran quarterbacks. What will Aaron Rodgers do? Now, speaking of veteran quarterbacks, guys that have bounced around a little bit, the Chiefs signed Gardner Minshew as a backup to Patrick Mahomes. Is Carson Wentz gone? Or Wentz? Is he gone? Wasn't he the backup last year?
I would assume he is gone now. I don't know I assume it was just a one-year deal or whatever, but.
So he's looking for a home, I assume. But Minshew goes from the Raiders now to the Chiefs in the same division as a backup. Lions signed quarterback Kyle Allen. The L.A. Chargers re-signed quarterback Taylor Heineke. Mason Rudolph, I believe, is now back in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's got to figure out what they're going to do. It's not going to be Mason Rudolph as their starting quarterback. But I know there's some interest in Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers may also have some interest in Minnesota, who may not go the J.J. McCarthy route right away. I don't know. It's a mess as far as that's concerned, but that's some quarterback news. There's also news involving your Cowboys. It was first reported that the Cowboys were going to be in line for signing Cooper Kupp, and now Adam Schefter, who reported that, says it doesn't look like that will happen in Dallas. But the Cowboys have signed, according to reports, Miles Sanders, running back, one-time Eagle, one-time Panther. They already got Javonte Williams from Denver, so you're looking at your new Cowboys running backs. Not to be confused with Emmitt Smith or Tony Dorsett.
I like Javonte Williams, but I'm hoping still that they will draft, and I think there's a good chance they will draft one, possibly in the first round.
You think they'll get Genty?
But I do like Javonte Williams.
So do you think they'll get Genty?
I think if he's there's a good chance they would go that route.
What about the whole Cup thing? Were you getting excited?
Yeah, I would like to have Cooper Kupp. I think he would fit very well, complement CeeDee Lamb. They need somebody at that other receiver position, and I still think Kupp has plenty left in the tank.
By the way, Memphis has moved up baseball for today against Lindenwood, and softball is now a doubleheader today over at the softball complex. Busy day over on South Campus, but they moved the times of these games up because of the impending weather. So check out Go Tigers Go for more information as far as baseball and softball this afternoon. That'll do it for us for hour number 2. When we come back, a busy final hour for the week. As I mentioned, Brian Baroni will join us, coach of SIUE, followed by 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
When you're working outdoors, unpredictability is the norm. So take on the toughest jobs with the 2025 Honda Pioneer Silhouette. This rugged side-by-side looks powered to any party with reliable torque fidelity and smooth shifting through trails. And you can choose between 3 trims: standard, deluxe, or the trim timber force edition. Built to everyone's adventures. See the 2025 Honda Pioneer Silhouette today at Casino Honda, 5637 Mill Road in Oak Ridge.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 912-715-5199.
Sports and Mexican food. You can get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Grand. Watch all the big games on all the TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos. And enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with reservations from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99 and margaritas start at $4.99. Experience home Mexican cuisine along with great sports at Los Cabos on Summer near Grand.
We are ready to meet anyone on your new Hyundai from Gossett Hyundai on the Pike during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Plus, you get America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Listen to this, Mid-South 2024 Hyundai Venue Limited. We Gossett 22,317. How about 2024 Hyundai Elantra Limited? We Gossett 24,997. 2025 Hyundai Elantra SEL Convenience 25,260. And 2024 Hyundai Sonata SEL Standard 26,353. This is what deals are made of at Gossett Hyundai 1870 Covington Pike. Online, HyundaiGossett.com. If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
341,155, MSRP 25,160. Elantra RU 821,411, MSRP 28,780. Convenience SU 856,185, MSRP 27,020. Sonata RU 415,696, MSRP 29,110. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
This traffic brought to you by Brinson Tax Service. They protect you like family.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still a little bit of volume coming off that ramp from Bill Morris Parkway onto 240 here up by Mount Moriah. It's been in pretty good shape so far on 55 up through South Haven. It's trying to build with a little bit more volume on 240 north at Lamar as that traffic makes its way up through the Midtown area. If your yard needs some help this time of the year, call the experts at Lawn Solutions. Over 30 years experience, Lawn Solutions 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, we are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 Once again, our Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:03 the time. Our final hour today, our final hour this week here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Friday, March 14th, 2025 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Elijah Seegers with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, their first ever preseason pool, spa, and patio event going on right now. It's at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 66 degrees, but we're talking about some severe weather on the way. The temperature will rise to 81 today. Early in the day, mixture of clouds and sunshine with gusty winds developing, 20 to 30 miles per hour, and gusts over 40. Then a very likely risk of severe weather Look out for damaging winds, large hail, powerful tornadoes. So have a plan. Be prepared for that. Talking about the storms coming in late this afternoon, early evening, and then overnight and remaining in the area into the early morning hours. And then Saturday, again, rain and thunderstorms in the forecast with a 90% chance of precipitation. Sunday looks to be mostly sunny with a high of 59. And then to kick off the new work week, 70 degrees on Monday with sunshine. But again, severe weather coming into the area, so be extremely careful about that. Jenkins Floors and More is our third-hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings. Tell you more about them a little bit later on in the hour. As I mentioned, we got 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. But right now, we are very pleased to be joined by the head coach of the SIUE Cougars. They're headed to the NCAA tournament. They're the OVC tournament champions, and he is Brian Baroni, who joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Coach, how are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic.
That's awesome.
How much time, you were already into coaching, but when obviously your dad was with the Grizzlies for a long time, your brother with the Grizzlies for a long time, did you ever spend much time in Memphis?
Not a ton because, the seasons overlap.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I had some of my own stuff. But, when I was a junior college coach, I was able to, we have a bigger break, so I was there over the Christmas time. And then, the playoffs, when they made the playoff run, you went deeper, I was able to do that. And then a couple other times. Spent time in Memphis, but not as much time during the season.
I knew your father so well. I know your brother Tony very, very well. And this is the first time I had a chance to talk to you, Brian. Have not had a chance to meet you. You sound exactly the same. You guys have great pipes. I don't know what is the DNA with this family, but my gosh, you sound fantastic. But, hey, what a run. Look, this is why I love everything that goes on with college basketball this time of the year. If you are especially playing in a smaller conference like the OVC, and there's nothing guaranteed with a regular season championship, but you have this tournament where in 4 days or 3 days, whatever the case may be, you have a chance to make up for any shortcomings during the season. You have a chance to, if you're in a nice little groove, to complete the deal. And it's just that opportunity for every single team in the country to be in that position, and you took advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, the one thing, a lot of teams right now at this time of the year, they're hitting their stride, right? You've kind of figured out your roster, you've figured out your rotations, and the last 10 games of the season, it comes down to, okay, did you make the right decisions? Did you develop your team the right way? And so you got a lot of teams that are hot going into the tournament. I mean, obviously some of the other ones that are high majors could be on a little bit of a slide, but a lot of the teams are hot going into this tournament. So that's why it's such good basketball.
Your win over SEMO in the championship game, during the regular season, they had beaten you twice, I think by double digits both times. And then in the championship game, they get off to a fast start, but then you guys make the huge run. They make another run back at you second half, and then you guys just kind of put it away in the second half. What was so different in that game against SEMO compared to the first two meetings?
I think a lot of it had to do with our emotion. I honestly, led by me. I was, I get too. That's my dad's fault too. I was just fired up. I mean, we're trying to win a championship. I'm all excited. It's sold out, and they're good. They're a good team. They're physical, and I think that we handled our emotions in a way that knocked them back a little bit, just because the first two times, they hit us and we wavered a little bit. So when they got off to the good start, we really changed our defense 10 points in. We didn't wait and, all right, we're pressuring. We're not doing this. We're going down, fighting. And immediately our guards just changed their demeanor. Came out the second half. They kind of did the same thing. But there was just, by that time, there was a vibe, I thought, that we understood that we were going to be in control of the game if we continued to do what we chose to do in the first half, and then we went on that huge run and made it happen.
When you're successful in a certain scheme and you're going along nicely, and then let's say you run into a SEMO and they beat you, do you quickly look to adjust the next time you play? I'm talking about going into that second game, or did you come back in that second game and go, no, let's do the things that got us here. We've had success. And then after you lose that one, you go, all right, maybe we need to make some adjustments. What's your philosophy as far as that's concerned?
Well, first of all, I usually give the ball to my best player and just say score.
There
That helps. That's A1. But no, I mean, we played him. It was crazy. We played him like the second game of the season in conference, and then we didn't play him until the second to last game. So a ton had happened between those 18 games, and then all of a sudden you play in a week's time. So I think one of the things that we decided by that time in the year is kind of referencing what I said earlier. You got to do what you do best, and sometimes as coaches, you try to overcomplicate it. All right, we're going to go under this ball screen. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And I think the adjustment we made is we did us more that last game. We focused more on us. All right, here's what we got to do. Here's the scheme. Here's what they're good at. But they have to play us. And that was our message. We kept talking about they have to play us. And they really didn't play us the first two games. And what I mean by that is they didn't see the version of us at our best. And so the adjustment was more of a mindset. Let's stop overcomplicating it, and let's go a little bit more attacking. Now, that doesn't always work, but it worked last week.
Well, it's interesting. It worked for you playing them a third time, losing twice, and then winning the third time. The old adage is it's very hard for a team to beat another team three times in 1 year. We saw the other night, Gonzaga, St. Mary's. Gonzaga had lost 2 to St. Mary's. They win the third time around. It doesn't always work out that way. North Carolina and Duke are about to play for a third time. Now, it helps North Carolina that they're not going up against Cooper Flag. But you get my point. Why does that happen a lot, where that third time is the charm?
Well, I think, we had played Tennessee State the day before, and we beat them twice, and then we only won by 2. So, I mean, I think what happens is, like, there's a enough is enough mentality. I think just simply like that. And like even though we didn't adjust a ton of our schemes, we did adjust how we were the first 2 times. And I think when a team, and then like when you win twice, well, you want to do the same thing, right? Because it just worked. So now when you go into that third game, I do think the team is a little bit more willing to change something a little bit more that third game because they have to.
Right.
And so I do think that now you're seeing a different version of that team. So I think the old adage of that is you want to do what you're doing to win, and the other team almost has to change something, and then that's where it becomes more difficult to win.
You mentioned giving the ball to your best player and letting him score. Rayshawn Taylor has had an amazing career at SIUE, all-time leading scorer now at the school. Now he is local. He's from right down the road there in Collinsville. But in today's college basketball, it's rare, quite frankly, to see a guy who especially is that good playing that long at one school. How have you been able to hold on to Rayshawn Taylor?
I've held on to him because his foundation with his mom, his entire family, and who he is as a kid and a man now is about finishing what he started. I mean, it is as old school mentality of, I said I was going to come here. I said I was going to win a championship. I didn't do it yet. We treat him right. We love each other. Like, I mean, it goes way beyond basketball. But that's where it started. And then I think our relationship is genuine and our program's genuine enough, or it's not always great, but he does know it's real. So he knew what he was getting every day, and then he bet on himself. And if I'm any GM or anything, I'm giving him a look. The kid has done nothing but one, and he shoots it from half court. He can score on anybody at times. I mean, so from that perspective, I think he just is such an old school mindset of he values family and he values loyalty more than he values the kind of financial part of it. Because what can't happen, he cannot buy what we just did.
Yeah.
A first time in history, NCAA tournament. and he lives 15 minutes from here.
Right.
I mean, they should put a statue up of him. I might start building it.
Oh, he won't pay for another meal. I'm sure
He
he won't
better
pay
not.
for another meal.
He better not. And if he is, he better call me in, and I'll call in real quick.
What? Tell us if you on the post game, which by the way you were great after the game. It was just funny.
I blacked out, so I had to watch it 10 times to figure out what everyone's about to ask me all the time.
It was so. But tell us the story of the scissors.
Yeah. So second day I got the job, like literally, I just was sitting in the office. I told my manager Jake Whitehead, I said, "Hey, go get a nice pair of scissors," which just sounds ridiculous anyway. Like, what are we talking? Like, what's a nice pair of scissors? And then a frame. And he didn't really know what I was talking about. And I said, "I want emergency, break if emergency." Like, he just had no idea. And so he just goes and gets them. Goes to Home Depot, and we put them up. And they had never won here before. And I just wanted something that wasn't arrogant, subtle enough to put in there as a reminder that one day, like, I'm not trying to just win here. I want to win a championship. And why? Like, everyone really should think that, right? If you're getting a Division I job, that should be your mentality. And we put it up above the door for 6 years. They stayed there. Now, I brought them to the OVC tournament every year, subtly, just put them in my bag because I needed them in case we won.
Yeah.
And about 3 years ago, or 2 seasons ago, we talked about them a little bit more. I'd say the first few years we didn't really mention them. I bet you most of my team didn't even know they were there. And it was just something that was, I looked at it a lot. I mean, and as cheesy as it sounds, if I'm in the locker room by myself, I would sit there and I'd look at it. And it would make me put in perspective, okay, what am I doing right to get this? What am I doing wrong to go use these? And about a minute left in the game, I told my manager, I said, "Hey, go get those." I said, those nice scissors. I used a different expletive. I said, "Go get those scissors." And then by the time he had gotten them and I was like sitting there, I saw him walking by and I kind of blacked out. Like, with my luck, like somehow those scissors would like be gone after 6 years. And that's why I was like, give me those real quick because I'm not letting go of those. And that's how it worked out, and it just happened to be caught on camera.
Yeah, I mean, a great reminder of all the hard work and for 6 years, and then the culmination of getting it done, and to be able to celebrate. Yeah. Brian Baroni is joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines, head coach SIUE. They'll be getting ready for the NCAA tournament once the field is announced on Sunday. Are you expecting Dayton, or is there a chance that it won't be Dayton?
Yeah, I think we're right on the cusp. Like, if you look at it, I think our net ranking out of the teams that are in between St. Francis, American, ourselves, there's like whoever else, I can't remember who's ahead of us, and the SWAC conference will be a lower net. So we're right on the cusp of, if the MAAC, if like a Quinnipiac or someone doesn't win, numerically we would be higher, but I know there's a lot of other factors that go in, because I think they're going to factor in our injuries throughout the year. We're 15-5 after Christmas. Some of the teams that we lost to, like we lost to Green Bay, who didn't have a great year, but they lost a 27-point a game score, a few games after our game. So those are the things that factor in, and we have every scenario mapped out. Like, Sunday night we're on the bus to Dayton if we play Tuesday. We actually have a harder travel because we're out of the range of charter because we're too close, but we're also like 6 hours away because you lose an hour. You have to drive, and you have the media obligation. Champagne problems, right? Got all these issues. I got to do media obligations to the NCAA tournament, and I'm complaining. My dad and brother taught me well.
Yeah. Is CBS going to be there for you guys for the announcement?
Yeah, they're coming tomorrow for something. Me and Ray Sean are doing something, I think, with Clark Kellogg and Coach Jay Wright, and then I don't know if they're leaving a camera or something, but we'll do the they're planning on doing the we see who we are and we cheer. So we're going to do a big thing in at the arena. Our fans deserve this.
Is there a lot of buzz? I would assume there's a lot of buzz around campus, in the city, and around the area.
Yeah, I mean, so much so that my wife's even like, "I'm so sick of you." She's like, "I'm sick of you for the wrong reasons now." It's the best part is like we come back and we're on spring break, so it's just like dead. So our guys are like trying to go to class, like, you know, I'm going to go to class early. I'm like, there's no class, guys. They're like, yeah, we're going to go early. We're just going to get there. But the town itself, it's an awesome town. I mean, it's really we're only 4 hours from Memphis. We're right across the river from St. Louis. So it's been really, you know, I've had people come up and there's a genuine thank you. There's a genuine, man, this is so awesome. You know, I'm stopping by the local places that have, you know, the signs up now and taking pictures and sending them and tweeting to them, hey, thank you guys. It's just, it's what you would kind of expect in a town like this to embrace. We sold out our last game. You know, it's not like we have a dome, but we sold out our last game. So, like, it was kind of happening before, and now it's just kind of the cherry on top.
Well, having been there, you know, when I was at school there and being at
Heck
games.
yeah. Come on, you're there from day one. You're a day one guy.
Famous alum.
Being at games where there was like maybe 20 people in that gym. I mean, like the idea of selling out a game there is just, it's awesome. And I'm so happy to see it, the success.
You were probably stuck in Eddyville.
For you, obviously, again, your dad's a coach. You've coached you were under Porter Moser. You've been under Tom Crean. You played for Tom Crean. Who would you? I assume your dad's the biggest influence, but who are the influences for you as a coach?
No, that's a great question. Like, so I grew up. Obviously, my brother and dad are huge influences on me. Like Tony, like
that's a bad thing to have your brother as an influence.
I know. There's influences in other ways.
He's throwing him a bone. That's all.
I'm throwing him a bone. He's big brother and help me out. My dad. No, but I did see what their work ethic behind the scenes and all that kind of stuff. Like, I remember Tony standing up for Steph Curry. Like, I remember that. Like, I remember being like, dude, shut up. Like, come on, man. Like, wherever I was, and I mean, he still has a scout like that shows. Like, that's who he wanted to draft. And like, so I like to have people around me that were willing to stand up for something or believe in something that they put the work into. And then my first staff at Illinois State, I had Steve Forbes, who's at Wake Forest, Porter Moser, who's at Oklahoma now, Danielle Robinson, who's doing a great job at Cleveland State, and Chris Jans, who's the head coach of Mississippi State. Wow. I mean, think of that staff. Jeez, that was our yeah, and I'm just sitting there screwing up things left and right. But I've had great influences. Then you have Tim Buckley, who was a big time at Marquette, and Darren Horn, who's the head coach of Northern Kentucky, DJ Stevens, who was associate head coach at multiple Final Fours at Michigan State and Marquette, now the head coach of Western Michigan. And I know I'm forgetting someone, but Tom Crean. I mean, who actually called my last championship game. It's like crazy. That? So my biggest influence is probably, after all that, my mom. She's the one. She's the one who's the biggest influence because she's the one that's like, hey, stay true. You know, make sure that you're hugging the guy that you don't play. Make sure that you keep it the family orient, or you know, a mindset behind everything, and that's why like we have the shooting shirts and all that the way we have them. It's my mom's probably the biggest influence.
Good answer. You've been brought up well, Brian. Good answer.
Before we let you go off of your team, because this ties everything together this week. Tony Allen getting his jersey retired tomorrow night by the Memphis Grizzlies. And people don't know this story, but you played an important role in getting Tony signed to the Memphis Grizzlies. Literally getting it signed. So tell the story of you and another family member getting Tony to sign his contract.
Cousin Mikey, come on. So this is a true story. Like, so I'm in Chicago recruiting, and I happen to I go to a game, I get a phone call from my brother, and they're in panic mode because I can't remember the whole thing, but basically the contract was messed up by somebody in the business office. They didn't have the contract ready to roll the right way. And Tony got on the flight back to Chicago. And my brother, Tony Allen, was going to go like Turks and Caicos and meet him to sign it. Because Tony Allen was going to Turks and Caicos the next morning. Well, I'll shorten it up. I'm in Chicago recruiting. They put it together that I'm there. I'm sitting with Cousin Mikey after the game, and they call and they're like, hey, you need to print this contract, go meet Tony Allen at his condo, and you have to sign him. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I'm in Green Bay. I'm going to go sign Tony Allen? They're like, the Celtics want him. Like, you know, if we don't do it, we might not get him. And it was terrible weather, so we're sitting in this condo, and right there was like a little pizza joint right next to it for a few hours because he was stuck on the runway, and he finally comes in. The best is cousin Mikey we go to his basement apartment. He prints out the contract for Tony Allen, a multi-million-dollar. We're looking at it like, is this real? And he puts on, the best part of it is he throws on like an old Grizzly shirt to make it a fit. Like that's going to be official. And we show up to his condo. We're sitting there, and he walks in, and by that time his agent had said, "Hey, Brian Baroni," kind of explains who I am. He walks in, he's like, "Man, there's Baronis everywhere. You guys are on it." And I'm thinking, like, I don't know if they're on, like, I don't know if the business side was on it. I know my dad's brother seemed to be on it. They made sure I didn't go back to Green Bay tonight. And we sit there in the lobby, he signs it. He's all excited. And then we had to go upstairs to his like business part of his condo, and we had to like scan it and like email it back. And it was before really even like you were taking pictures and all that like on the phone. So I mean that's literally how Tony Allen got signed. Like it's 100% true because they were worried that he's going to go to Turks and Caicos, and like Paul Pierce or somebody else was really trying to get him to because they saw the value in him.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how it went. Me and cousin Mikey hanging out.
Cousin Mikey with the Grizzly shirt on. I would love to have seen that.
It was an old school.
It's like a movie or something.
Baby blue, like overly dried, like embroidered, curled
Stained.
up Grizzly logo.
So, Coach, on your resume, does it say sign Tony Allen to a contract?
I actually, you know what? Like, here's the crazy thing. So then I have that contract. We Photoshop it out. And, like, when I'm sitting there talking to recruits, I'll talk about, hey, one day, and I'll put, like, the recruit, like 2029, who says you can't do this? And I'll talk about a few things of players I've coached, blah, blah, blah. The contract we use, all right, the Photoshop version is a copy of that Tony Allen contract from that night.
Oh, my
gosh. Yeah, probably shouldn't say that, but it's the same contract. We've just made adjustments on the years. We changed the logo if the kid likes like the Golden State Warriors, but it's that contract. To this day, I still use it.
That is cool.
Do you have cousin Mikey bring it in too?
I should. Fun fact, me and cousin Mikey went to a Jerry Springer show once, but we can't talk about that anymore.
Did you guys get thrown out? Yes or no?
No, we were good.
Okay, you were good.
But our episode did go to Sweeps Week. That's how crazy of an episode it was.
My God.
I don't know.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Well,
but no, he's the best. It's a family affair here.
That's awesome.
That is fantastic. We couldn't be any happier for you, and I'm very happy for my buddy over here with his alumnus his alumni school being SIUE, going to the big dance. We'll find out Sunday exactly when and where they will be playing. He's the head coach of the Cougars. He's Brian Baroni. Brian, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations
Thanks for having me.
on
This
the
is
season.
great.
Oh, absolutely, and best of luck. We're going to be watching and rooting for you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Take care. Good stuff. Are you shocked that look, I'm Italian. I come from an Italian area. The Baronis have a cousin Mikey doing something that
that's why
maybe a little fishy. I don't know.
I mean, obviously they had told Tony, but I was just when I was told this story, I could just picture Tony Allen, these two Italian dudes waiting there at his condo, like
exactly.
What is going on? What have I gotten myself into?
I thought he was about to say too that so we signed it, we got it sent back and everything, and we celebrated. We went to that pizza shop there on the corner and had a little celebratory pizza. Jenkins Floors and More, third hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings. They're located at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. They also have stores in Cleveland, Mississippi, and in Little Rock, Arkansas. They specialize in flooring and carpeting. Family owned and operated local business. They sell it wholesale, skip the middleman, and save you lots of money in the process. Whether it be hardwoods by Portercraft, carpeting from Southern Luxury Carpet, ceramic and porcelain tiles. I mean, all different styles, colors, granite, porcelain, and much, much more. Backsplashes for your kitchens and bathrooms, plantation shutters and blinds. And again, you're going to save a lot of money by buying it from Jenkins Floors and More. For all you contractors out there and for you do-it-yourself homeowners, it just makes sense to buy your material, which is top of the line, for a discounted price from Jenkins. Now, if you want Jenkins to do the job for you, they can do that. They'll come to you. Give them a call or stop by, and they'll come to you. They'll bring you different samples of what the carpeting or the flooring will look like. They will give you a free estimate, and then when you decide to go with Jenkins, they'll get the job done in a 2-week turnaround. That's their promise to you. You can't beat it. Again, family-owned and operated. Military, first responders, you always get 10% off. Sports 56 listeners, ask about your family discount. They are open Monday through Saturday, so closed on Sunday. You can call them at 662-469-9350. Our third-hour sponsor, it's Jenkins Floors and More. Well, get ready. When we come back, 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. Don't get shut out. You can jump on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines right now if you'd like to participate at 901-360-8255. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgess. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous? Well, there's some things about the Rendezvous I'm going to talk about. For example, we make it really easy to park. We have valet parking right at Monroe Street in our alley. We also want to make it easy for people to get to doors. You can now park in our alley right at our front door and put your flashers on. People also forget that we take reservations for 6 or more. And we have a wonderful party room upstairs that can accommodate people for rehearsal dinners, birthday parties, reunions, graduations. Our rooms seat between 25 and 275 people. And everything at the Rendezvous can be packed to go. But we also do catering. See our menu online, and we can even deliver for groups of 15 or more. So if you have any questions, always feel free to call us at the Rendezvous because we answer our phone ourselves. You'll never hear. Please listen carefully for our menu list change. Press 1 for reservations, press 2 for hours, press 3 for catering, or if you know your party's 9-digit extension number and the first 3 letters of the mother's maiden name, dial it back. Come see us at the Rendezvous. Since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square for the Tigers and all your March Madness games. Fun, exciting, friendly, comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs, 24 taps for all your favorite beers. Happy hour 3 to 6 Monday through Friday for Music Bingo Tuesday, upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, online ordering, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square, Highway 70. Check Facebook for weekend music at the Owner's Box.
Welcome to Fat Larry's in Bartlett. Come in today for award-winning barbecue and so much more. Catfish, steak burgers, chicken, certified prime Angus beef steaks, along with all the sides, homemade rolls, delicious desserts, beer, and service that is out of this world. Fat Larry's cooks everything made to order just for you. Dine in or order online at fatlarrys.com. We're the best barbecue, southern cooking, and friendly atmosphere in town. Family owned and proud of it. Fat Larry's, conveniently located at 7537 Highway 70, just west of Appling.
Andy Wise here. For 6 years, I've endorsed Pella Windows and Doors of Memphis and the Mid-South as the standard in affordable luxury. Now get this. Pella just got more affordable. 12 months, no interest, no payments on what Consumer Reports has rated the highest quality windows on the planet, plus 50% off installation. That includes consumer guarantees no other window company will ever match. You have my word. You'll make the wise choice when you choose Pella Windows and Doors of Memphis and the Mid-South.
This traffic report brought to you by Triangle Meat Company, feeding Memphis since 1967. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 4790 Summer Avenue. Trust Triangle Meat Company.
Sports 56 traffic.
Moving on, I-40 westbound from Germantown Parkway all the way down to Sycamore View Road, coming inbound on Sam Cooper right now, still moving at the moment. All the major inbound routes have just now starting to pick up just a bit. It's been pretty light out here for the most part. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. Go see them this weekend. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:33 the time. I'll tell you, that's my first experience with Brian Barone. Of course, you know him, but he is just a chip off the old block. Tony, the late Tony Sr. and Tony Jr., I mean, just incredible family.
No, it's a great family.
You get into a conversation, it's always going to be fun, and I hope folks were entertained by that.
I have to believe now that sets a record. I don't think we've ever had 3 members of one family on the show.
No, I'll have to think about that.
I'm not even sure how many we've
probably
had. I can't imagine. I don't know which ones we've had 2 members of the same family on the show.
Oh, we've had Aaron Hayden and Dallin Hayden and Chase Hayden, right? Father sons. Eli.
We have.
We've had them, and I'd have to think about others that we've had. We've had the Castellano family, but they were, here for other reasons. The Gotti family that were here. You know what time it is?
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
That's right. It's time for 10 in a row. It's the game show that has swept the nation. If you'd like to participate, jump on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines right now at 901-360-8255. Don't get shut out. 10 in a row is brought to you by Napa Cafe.
That's right, Napa Cafe. 27 years they've been doing it, producing great food and great nights out, great meals for folks. 5101 Sanderlin, that's where you'll find Napa Cafe. You can also find them online, napacafe.com. At the website, you can make your reservations, check out the entire menu, just delicious food. Just a fantastic atmosphere. 5 different dining rooms that they have, including that private wine cellar. If you're celebrating a special occasion, that private wine cellar is a great way to do that. But maybe you're celebrating with a big crowd or just an intimate evening, whatever it is, Napa Cafe is a great choice for you. You can make those reservations, napacafe.com. They're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner, starting at 5 o'clock. You can also get the entire menu for curbside pickup, take it with you to eat at home. But again, it's a great place to go enjoy a great meal at Napa Cafe. And the winner of 10 in a row will get a $50 gift certificate to Napa Cafe, along with a $25 gift certificate to the Owner's Box out in Lakeland and a couple of Malco movie passes.
All right, pretty tough question. If you look it up, obviously it's not, but this is fairly tough. Schools that have had at least 25 bids to the Division I men's NCAA hoop tournament. Now, vacated appearances are excluded. Vacated appearances are not counted among the 25. Schools that have had at least 25 bids to the Division I men's NCAA hoop tournament, 360-8255 is the number.
First up is the GOAT. Joe, what's up? Oh, Joe dropped off there.
What happened?
So first up,
Did Joe panic with that question?
Steven. What's up, Steven?
Hey, Steven.
Hey, guys, what's up?
Steven's going to be our first guinea pig. All right, schools that have had at least 25 bids to the Division I men's NCAA hoop tournament, vacated appearances are excluded. Houston.
Yes.
DePaul.
No.
USC.
No.
Florida.
Yes.
360-8255 is the number. Got a couple of open lines here as we play 10 in a row. Did I ask you for the prize? You already said it, right? The prize package. Napa Cafe, of course, is our terrific sponsor.
Dan is next up. Hey, Dan.
Hello, Dan.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Going well. Thank you. All right. Schools that have had at least 25 bids to the Division I men's NCAA hoop tournament, vacated appearances are excluded. So keep that in mind. Iowa State.
No.
Marquette.
Yes.
Iowa.
No.
360-8255 is the number. Is the GOAT back on?
Next up is Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, guys. Sorry, T-Mobile wasn't cooperating.
All right, Joe. Schools that have had at least 25 bids to the Division I men's NCAA hoop tournament, vacated appearances are excluded. Houston.
I'm going to say yes.
DePaul.
Yes.
360-8255. The GOAT goes down this week. Next.
Next up is Randy. Hey, Randy.
Hello, Randy.
What's up, man?
Here we go. Iowa State.
No.
Marquette.
No.
360-8255. Schools that have had at least 25 bids to the Division I men's NCAA hoop tournament. Again, vacated appearances are excluded.
Jack is next. Hey, Jack.
What's up, Jack?
Hey, guys.
Houston.
Yes.
DePaul.
No.
USC.
No.
Florida.
No.
Princeton.
No.
360-8255. They had a big run with Pete Carrill as their coach.
Keith is next. Hey, Keith.
Hello, Keith.
Hey, how's it going?
Going well, thanks. Iowa State.
No.
Marquette.
Yes.
Iowa.
No.
360-8255. We're playing 10 in a row. Open lines right now. The question is, schools that have had at least 25 bids to the Division I men's NCAA hoop tournament, vacated appearances are excluded. But don't count the ones that were vacated.
$50 gift certificate to Napa Cafe, $25 to the owner's box, and a couple of Malco movie passes going to the winner of 10 in a row today. Next up is CD. What's up, CD?
Not much. Let me try.
Here we go, CD. Houston.
Yes.
DePaul.
No.
USC.
No.
Florida.
No.
Princeton.
Yes.
NC State.
No.
360-8255. Who's next?
Next is Jim. Hello, Jim.
What's up, Jim?
Okay.
Iowa State.
No.
Marquette.
Yes.
Iowa.
Yes.
Memphis.
Yes.
360-8255. Vacated appearances are excluded. 360-8255. Who's next?
Matt, what's up?
Hey, Matt.
What's up, guys?
Houston.
Morning.
Good morning. Houston.
Yes.
DePaul.
No.
USC.
No.
Florida.
No.
Princeton.
Yes.
NC State.
Yes.
Utah.
Yes.
West Virginia.
Yes.
Arizona.
Yes.
Florida State.
No.
There you go. There's a winner. Good job, Matt.
Congratulations, Matt. You are a winner. Hold on, and Elijah will let you know how to get your prizes.
All right, second list, Eli. Iowa State.
No.
Marquette.
Yes.
Iowa.
No.
That's a yes. Memphis.
No.
Providence.
I'll say no.
St. John's.
Ooh. Yes.
Xavier.
No.
That's a yes. UNLV.
Yes.
That's a no. Tennessee.
No.
That's a yes. Virginia.
Yes.
There you go. It is. It's interesting because some of the programs we look at as big time powers may have only been powers for a short time. Don't have that sustainability. One of them, like UNLV, had the great run there for a decade, if that, with Raleigh Massimino. Memphis, I forget what its number was.
Raleigh Massimino.
Sorry,
Tarkanian.
That's Villanova. Jerry Tarkanian. But the Memphis deal was, I don't even know if they had the 25 even without the vacated, but I think they were just shy of that. And then you have, Florida. Florida had the great run, back-to-back national titles, but again, they don't have that long sustained basketball success over the years. When you think about some of the Blue Bloods that I didn't use, they would be easy yeses, the Dukes, the North Carolinas of the world. But certainly, as I thought it would be, was a little bit tougher question. We congratulate our winner, who was it, Matt? And enjoy your prizes.
Folks, when it comes to firearms, the place in Memphis to go would be Classic Arms. Anything that you need, whether it be handguns, whether it be rifles, shotguns, new guns, used guns, whatever. Maybe you're looking to buy, maybe you're looking to sell. Well, they not only sell guns there, but they also do buy them, and they will trade as well. So you got new and used guns, all different sizes, all different types, all the top brand names. They've got all of those for you as well at Classic Arms. They've got over 700 firearms in stock, plus all the supplies, everything that you need dealing with firearms. They've got it at Classic Arms. Free gun inspections and free gun appraisals as well. It's all at Classic Arms, 1740 Germantown Parkway. That's right behind Corky's Barbecue there in Cordova. Online, classicarmsofmemphis.com. You can shop 24/7 right there on the website, classicarmsofmemphis.com. For everything in the world of firearms, go see them at Classic Arms.
All right, we have a final segment to come. We're going to talk about a lot of the big things coming up today, which includes Memphis and Memphis. Memphis Tigers in action, Memphis Grizzlies in action. We'll do that when we return. We got some texts here, last-minute texts. We'll read those as well on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines. You can text in at 901-360-8255. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 at 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Owning your own home is wonderful, and buying your own home can be wonderfully easy if your agent is Margie O'Neill of Remax Expert. Margie has over 20 years of experience in helping folks just like you find their new home. Buyers markets, sellers markets, up and down markets. Margie has sold them all with a dedication that makes it easy for you to buy your new home. Margie O'Neill at Remax.net. That's MARGIE.ONEAL at Remax.net. Or call 901-685-6000 for your new home. Margie O'Neill makes it easy.
All aboard, football fans! The Memphis Showboats are back in action with more of the football you love. Join the Showboats at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium March 30th for the opening weekend of the 2025 UFL season as the Boats take on the Michigan Panthers. Kickoff is 11 a.m. Head to UFLShowboats.com now to get your tickets and get more of the touchdown celebrating, high-fiving, bell-ringing action you love. That's UFLShowboats.com. Go Boats!
Hello, sports fans out there. Walker Taylor here with the Germantown and Collierville Commissary. We just celebrated our 43rd year in business, and I would like to thank our fantastic customers and especially our loyal staff. Time has flown by. We now have a second location, Poplar and Houston Levy in Collierville. Catering is a specialty of ours. 50 to 5,000, no job too small, no job too big. Full service or self-service. We also have a party room in Collierville that is great for rehearsal dinners, business meetings, you name it, we'd love to have you. Also, our barbecue party packs start at $8.75 a person. Barbecue, beans, slaw, bun sauce, including serving utensils. Especially great for tailgating with football season coming up. Commissary restaurants also believe in giving back to the community. Possibly you have been approached by somebody selling a barbecue six-pack coupon for fundraising. Cheerleading groups, church groups, anything to help a worthy cause. Holidays are near. Smoked hams and smoked turkeys will be on the pit before you know it. Come see us at Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Also check us out at commissarybarbecue.com.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Defense guns, guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guarantee lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections, appraisals, and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsAndMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With two big airlines and the largest match ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
This hour brought to you by Today's Floors once again, and Greg Gaston.
texter texts in on the Sicily Log Cabin list line, Sean, and points out that Raleigh Massimino did actually coach at UNLV after Villanova.
Did he really?
I
don't remember that.
He replaced Jerry Tarkanian. I have no recollection of that.
I have no recollection of that. Now, I do have recollection of...
Now, he wasn't there long. He only lasted 2.5 seasons, but he was the one that replaced... Now, if you'd asked me who replaced Jerry Tarkanian at UNLV, I would have been like, I have no idea. I would not have been able to come up with an answer to that, but I certainly would have never come up with Raleigh Massimino.
Had Raleigh come out of retirement? Did Raleigh step down and retire at Villanova? He wasn't canned, right? So did he come out of retirement to replace Tark? I'm starting to remember it now a little bit more. Thank you, Texter.
He left Villanova to go to UNLV?
He left Villanova. He plain left Villanova to go to UNLV to replace Tark. Tark went to Fresno State because I called the Memphis-Fresno State NIT game out in Fresno, the controversial ending of that one. That was pretty wild, but that was with Tark at Fresno State. Never called a game where Tark was coaching UNLV. That would have been something to watch that team, but yeah. All Paisans, Calipari, Patino, Massimino. Tarkanian, I don't think that's Italian. But anyway, Baroni, there you go.
Another texture says, Bubba Cunningham was asked specifically about Memphis and Gonzaga on an interview. He said some things that I think will go in our favor. One was it's about who you played, when you played them, and where you played them. The other was that they have found a balance between beating bad teams by a lot and struggling to beat bad teams barely. Again, he was being specific to Memphis and Gonzaga.
Okay, well, who you played and when you played them. How many times do I bring up about the net and things of that nature? And you say, well, it matters where they are now. And I say, no, it should matter when you played them, where they were.
No.
Well, again, I hear what you're saying because that's the way it is. But that, according to that texter, that's what Bubba Cunningham said, if they understood what he was saying, that it matters who it was you were playing when you played them. Obviously, you don't.
He's not talking about the ranking of when you played them. It's when you play them. It might be what they were as a team, like, or what health-wise, stuff like that, or whatever.
Yeah, but that also affects the net. And if you're looking at the final net number, they're not going to break it down from every single game that you went through of when they played. What I'm saying is that they have to take into consideration, to me,
they don't know what the net was of those teams when they played them.
But the fact of the matter is, they got to remember. Well, I know they played them, and I know they know the results, but they have to emphasize that a little bit. It just seems like that, for some reason, games played earlier in the year have been de-emphasized a little bit when it comes to looking at a total resume. We'll see. I will be shocked if Memphis is given a higher seed, meaning a better seed, than anybody anticipates. Today, again, look. It's a moot point. Memphis is going to the tournament either way, but it's a moot point if they lose. Because if they lose this game, they're probably going to be 8-9. And that's a coin flip. The problem is, if they win this tournament, are they still going to be an 8, which I think is ludicrous. Jerry Palm, obviously, who comes on our show, has them as a 6. Kerry Miller as well has them as a 6. But it's Memphis and Wichita State at noon today from Fort Worth. Memphis a 9.5-point favorite. That'll be followed by Florida Atlantic and Tulane. The winners of those two games will play each other tomorrow. Then Tulsa, North Texas, East Carolina, and UAB. In the SEC today, again, 7 of the 8 top seeds have advanced to the quarterfinals. The only one that has not is Texas A&M after getting beat yesterday by Texas in double overtime, 94-89. So Texas has 2 wins in the American tournament, in the SEC tournament. Have they done enough to get in as an at-large? We'll find out if they lose. But if they win today over Tennessee, I pretty much believe that does the deal for them. They will stamp their ticket to the NCAA tournament as an at-large, and probably the 14th for the SEC. Ole Miss and Auburn, they'll get going at noon. We'll have that game for you, right? 11:30 pregame, 12 o'clock tip-off. Ole Miss, Auburn from Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. That'll be followed by Texas and Tennessee, and then the evening session, Missouri, Florida, Kentucky, Alabama.
Yeah, some Big 12 today has a couple of really good matchups. BYU, Houston. BYU is playing some great basketball right now. Obviously, Houston figures to be one of the number one seeds. And then they got Texas Tech, Arizona as their other semifinal game in the Big 12. So that's some good matchups. Big East, St. John's, Marquette, Creighton, UConn. UConn was very impressive yesterday. See if they're just clicked into postseason mode or what it is. Big Ten, Oregon off their win yesterday over Indiana. Big loss for Indiana. That might keep them out. Oregon, Michigan State, Wisconsin, UCLA, Illinois, Maryland, and Purdue, Michigan. The matchups in that one. And then the ACC, you get Duke, Carolina, and Louisville, Clemson as the other semifinal matchup in that one.
So the Big 12, ACC, Big East are all wrapping up tomorrow. And everybody else, as far as bigger conferences, are wrapping up Sunday. And then, of course, the American as well. I don't know about some of these other conferences that are still going on that are smaller when they wrap up. But was it Jerry who told us there's still, or Kerry, 5 conference tournaments that'll wrap up on Sunday?
Yes, I believe it's 5, yes.
Seems like it's an increase from years past, but I'm not 100% sure.
The American, the SEC, the Big Ten, the Ivy League, and I don't know the other one.
The Grizzlies tonight, back in action, riding a 4-game winning streak. The Cleveland Cavaliers riding a 15-game winning streak. Something has to give, as they say, tonight at FedEx Forum. Jaren Jackson Jr. upgraded to questionable, so Tripp may return. Everybody else looks to be healthy for Memphis other than Santi Aldama, who will miss the game. No Donovan Mitchell for the Cavaliers, but still a loaded team. And then once that game takes place, the Grizzlies go back-to-back. They'll take on the Heat tomorrow, where Tony Allen will have his number 9 jersey retired. It will hang in the rafters along with Marcus All's and Zach Randolph's and one day Mike Conley's.
By the way, Mike Conley not going to be there tomorrow night. The Grizzlies Heat tomorrow night. I've got a pair of tickets for that game. And if you would like to go, let's go caller number 5. Caller number 5, 360-8255, 360-8255. Caller number 5, 2 tickets for the game tomorrow night between the Grizzlies and the Heat. And, of course, then you can hang around and watch the ceremony as Tony's jersey is retired. Caller number 5, 360-8255.
So no Conley. DeMichael Cole was on with us yesterday and said that Conley would be there. So what happened?
I think some travel concerns. He was not is not going to be able to make it
because they have games on Friday and Sunday. The Timberwolves do, so trying to squeeze that in. Don't forget
I do believe Paul Pierce will be there though.
Oh, really? That's cool. Don't forget about our Tiger Cash giveaway. As long as the Tigers are alive in the NCAA tournament, we will give away $98.50 each day on either Sports 56 Mornings, Happy Hour, or Sports Time. Is brought to you by Mid-South Small Engines, Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold inspector in the Mid-South, Calb Equipment, and Buster's Butcher and Buster's Liquors. We thank all our sponsors. Again, stay tuned. Listen to the day all day long if you can and win cash from Sports 56. That'll do it for us today and this week. I want to thank our guests today, John Varlas, Matt Dillon, and Brian Baroni. Waldo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For Eli Savoy and Elijah Seegers, I'm Greg Gaston. Stay tuned for Dave Woloshin. This is Sports 56 Mornings. Have a great weekend, everybody.